It's that time again, man. Beat down time.
Is that right?
Coming to our place, the Emirates. Yeah, North London is red. We proved that last year. Not only did we beat you at the Emirates, we beat you at your place as well. And that was with your star boy, Harry Kane, who's gone now. Who are you going to turn to now? Bro, you're getting beat down.
Who are we going to turn to? Who are we going to turn to? Big Ange Buster Koglu, blood. I'm telling you, it's a new day. Like Big E, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, fam. The fossil football is dead. Yeah, get Conte out of here. Get Nuno out of there. Get Mourinho out of there, fam. I'm loving Big Ange instead.
Listen, you tell Big Ange, he should get out of here, yeah? This ain't cricket.
Yeah. Save this, blood. Save this, blood. You walking Malteser. Save this. Hey, you want to... Blood.
Yes, guys, and welcome back to the Saturday Football Show. You are back here live on DR Sports. Make sure you go and check out that Best of Enemies North London Derby special. Robbie versus Expressions, getting into it. Listen, you know there's going to be carnage this weekend, so why not go and enjoy that bit of carnage before you go and enjoy that. But listen, we got 3 big games today as well. We got Crystal Palace versus Fulham. We got Luton versus Wolves. Man City versus Nottingham Forest as well. And we'll be touching on some of the later games as well today. And then we will be touching on the North London Derby tomorrow. Of course, joining me today, I've got Neeks with me, man. How are you, my man? You good?
I'm all right. I'm good. You know, it's been a big week for Man United. Every week's been a big week for Man United, but you know, a lot of fallout from the Champions League games. But I'm ready for the Premier League, ready for our season to start.
Big up everyone in the chat as well. Make sure you're getting involved in the conversation. We should have Nick joining us shortly as well. He is just held up in a bit of midday traffic. You know how it gets on Saturday. But make sure you guys are throwing the likes up as the stream is going along. And I will try and read out some of your chats as we go along in the show. Without further ado.
Where's AGT?
AGT today, actually, is... His dog was actually unwell, so prior to the show, he obviously
I thought he just called in
had to take his boy to the vets. Unfortunately, Gus. So yeah, we hope
because it wasn't a super Saturday. I thought he thought I will leave the Palace and all that to us.
Someone actually did say that in the comments. They said the fixtures are so bad this Saturday. AGT has just decided to skip it completely.
He left it to us, man. Are we the reserve team? What's going on there?
Hey, we certainly ain't no reserve team around here. Do you know what I mean? Listen, but appreciate everyone who's joining us. Alex will be back next week, and of course we'll be here for the Monday roundup. Of course, we hope him and his boy get well soon. I see already some COYGs, I think is what they call it in the chats. Big up yourself. Big up Spacing as well. Says, come on, you Spurs. Louis Chapman says Kane has scored in the Bayern Munich game as well. Do you know the scoreline on that one at the moment?
2-0 last I checked. Yeah, 2-0.
2-0, Bayern leading there. But the 3 o'clock kickoffs will kick off in about 5 minutes. And without further ado, let's get into the lineup, shall we? Crystal Palace today lining up with Sam Johnston in goal. Ward, Anderson, Guehi and Mitchell in a back 4. In front of those, so you've got Decore and Will Hughes. Jordan Ayew, Eze and Jeff Schlupp behind Odsonne Edouard in a 4-2-3-1. Last week, I think you obviously saw Roy Hodgson wasn't there. I don't know if he's back on the touchline this week or not. We'll see. Fulham lining up with Bernd Leno in goal, Castagna at right back this week, Diop and Ream at centre back, Robinson back at left back, Reed, Palhinha and Pereira back in the midfield 3, Deckled over Reeve, Jimenez and Willian in a front 3. Oof. What is your prediction for that game? What are you anticipating today there?
Well, the news that we're getting is that Eze is apparently close to signing a new contract. And obviously with Elise staying, that would be another big re-signing for Palace. So if that news is to be believed, it can only, I think, give a boost to him, give a boost to the club and the players around him. And I like Palace's team. That being said, Fulham are good. Fulham are good. Palhinha, Andres Pereira, he's been a hit since he's got there.
Yeah.
Willian and Jimenez. Jimenez ain't going to be the player that he ever was, but he seems to slightly be coming back to, compared to the back end of his Wolves
almost
time.
One of the best almost bicycle kicks the other week. I remember. I was like, yo, if that went in, that would have been one for the ages. But
I'm gonna go 1-1.
1-1. You're going to go 1-1.
Fulham,
and joining us in perfect time, Nick, my man. How are you, bro? You good?
Well, go on, man. I'm here, man. I made it. Apologies. Hey, I made it. It's all
Lateness is greatness, as our friend Matisse always says. You know what I mean? I've just read the lineups out for the Palace game. I'll just read them out for you again. Johnston, Ward, Anderson, Guehi, Mitchell, Decore, Hughes, Jordan Ayew, Eze, Schlupp and Edouard for Palace. And then for Fulham, you've got Leno, Castagne, Diop, Ream, Robinson in a back four. And then Reed, Palhinha and Pereira in midfield. Deckled over Reed, Jimenez and Willian in a front three. What are you going for as a prediction in that game?
I'm favouring Palace 2-1. I'm from West London still, but I'm favouring Palace 2-1 now. I'm not going to lie. But I think draw is not a bad shout. But I do just think Mark Guehi's back. I just think Palace have a little bit more cohesion. The teams played together for a little bit longer as well. A couple of new additions in that Fulham team. So yeah, I'll favour Palace marginally.
I think I'm going to go with that as well. I think I'm going to go 2-1 Palace. I think I just fancy them. Both teams I don't think have many goal scorers in this.
Yeah,
so it could be
sure.
one of those kind of maybe bore draws we do see. But let's hope it's kind of an exciting one. And the next game we're going to be looking at is one I think is actually going to be a 6-pointer in my opinion. Luton Town at home versus Wolves. The lineups for this one is Kaminsky in goal, Kabore, Burke, Lockyer and Bell in a back four, Sambi-Lokonga, Nakamba and Doughty in midfield, Brown, Morris and Ogbene in a front three. Wolves are lining up with Jose Sarr in goal, Semedo at right back, Dawson, Kilman and Aït-Nouri, João Gomez, Lamina, Hwang Hee-chan, Bellegarde after an impressive Liverpool debut last week is back in, Neto and Mateus Cunha, who needs to get some goals. You're starting to feel like, where are you guys feeling in this game?
Neto was very good last week against Liverpool.
Now that he's injury free, he's starting to look like himself again, and you only kind of hope he can maybe stay injury free. Is he kind of who they're going to hang their hat on?
I think it has to be. I think he's their biggest outlet, their biggest goal threat, which obviously he's not the striker, but Cunha for me, if we're talking about Brazilian strikers, they're going through something right now, Brazil, when it comes to number 9s, and Cunha for me you can't hang your hat on him. You can't guarantee he's gonna score the goals. I know Hwang got the goal last week, but Neto's the main guy. You said it's a 6-pointer. Luton have to win.
Yeah.
If Luton are planning on staying up this season, maybe they're not planning. Maybe they're planning on having a good time and coming back maybe the season after when they go down. But if they're gonna go in a run, if they're gonna get any points, they have to start now at home to Wolves, which you call a 6-pointer. But I don't think it's going to happen. If Wolves play anything like they did against Liverpool in that first half, I can see this game being over. But by an hour.
Because home form is really going to matter for these kind of promoted sides, if you like, and still haven't kind of got their first win at the moment. And there's actually a few teams, I think there's 4 or 5 teams that haven't got their first win yet. But should Luton be looking at this as like this is a team that we know are going to be struggling in and around with us. This is one it's a must win.
No, I don't think so. I think, again, this Wolves team, they've got a lot of talent. Lots of it hasn't quite come together in the way that you'd want it to. But they've played together for a long time. They know each other really well. It's one of the teams that has, generally speaking, pretty good chemistry. And they're good on the road, Wolves. They like to travel. They're a travelling team. Luton do have to obviously try and build a defence and try and stay up based on home form, but I'm not sure Wolves are, just a couple of seasons, Wolves were not too far off of Brighton. They were like one of the top teams outside the Big Six. They were one of the problem teams. Obviously, they're going to want to win every game, but I don't think this is a game that they can hang their hat on and say, we should be beating Wolves. I think there are other teams realistically where they can smell blood. And unfortunately, they played 1 or 2 of them and haven't got points.
Prediction in this one?
3-1 Wolves. I think they've got goals, man. I think Neto is destined to have a full breakout season and then obviously come to the carpet at some point in the future.
I've gone 2-1 Wolves on this one.
I've gone 3-2 Wolves.
3-2 Wolves. So you're expecting goals in this one, all right?
So.
Well, the games I just don't know off, by the way, Joe. We're just a minute into the games. We will be keeping an eye on all of them, and of course some of the other leagues as well. We don't just stick to the Premier League here. York are currently leading 2-1 in the National League. Ryan Fallowfield giving them a leading goal in the 98th minute there. Celtic winning 3-0 today as well. Currently that game is still going on, but no, it's actually just finished. Full time. So Celtic have won 3-0 today. But final game in the 3 o'clock kickoffs is the Manchester City at home to Nottingham Forest. Man City start with Edison, Walker, Akanji, Ruben Diaz and Gvardiol at left back. Mateus Nunes gets a start today next to Rodri. Foden, Alvarez, Doku starts again, and Haaland up front. Man City looking all strength up. Turner, Bowley, Niakate and Aina in a back three. Aurier, Sangare, Mangala and Tavares in front of them. Dominguez, Gibbs, White and Awani in front of them from Nottingham Forest today in a 3-4-2-1 formation. What are we kind of feeling for that game? Is it a formality for City being at home? They're looking very full strength in that team, to be fair. Alvarez, Doku, Foden looking in great form over the past couple of weeks. Rodri looking like he's gone a different level. I'll be honest with you. At the moment, there's nothing that man can't do. Do you know what I mean? And Gvardiol has settled in really well. But are you guys expecting easy day at the office for City?
Listen, getting here today was a myth, and I only came to watch the two-time European champions take points off of Manchester City. But you know what I'm saying? Big Nottingham Forest. Big Nottingham Forest.
I was not expecting
Listen, Manchester's two times. You know what it is? My dad's a Nottingham Forest fan, so he always says he's like two-time European champions, 2 times
European royalty.
Do you know what I mean? So
Pep Guardiola's actually saying it midweek after the Champions League game. He goes, now we got to Nottingham. Two-time European champion.
Exactly.
We have to take them serious.
That's it. But you know what it is? I feel like I do, you know, a lot of teams are playing well. Spurs playing well. We're playing them tomorrow. But I do feel like City are the team that are stopping us from winning the Premier League. So I'm just hoping that they drop.
Were you about to say the treble?
No. Nah, they're Premier League in that blood. You know what I'm saying? No. Just the Prem. One trophy at a time. Do you know what I'm saying? UCL, we'll see you next year. But no, like City are the team that's stopping us. So I'll just go into every match week hoping they drop some type of point, some goal difference, something like anything. You know, we need it all. But I think probably I could go a 3-1 again. You know, I think obviously City they have too much. They just have too much, and they're too mentally strong. Even if they go a goal down or 2 goals down, you never feel safe or sure against them because there's too much there. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's what I've gone with as well. City 3-1. I feel like Haaland over the past couple of weeks has just been almost missing a few chances and just saying like, guys, here's an opportunity, you know, to keep up with me in the Golden Boot. I'm giving you chances here, like, yeah.
And who's the one taking it?
And I just feel like there's going to become this one game where he just says, all right, playtime's over. And I feel like today could be that type of day. I remember last week thinking City were going to really come out firing on all cylinders, and I felt like they did, to be fair. But I don't know. I'm expecting 3-1 City. I've gone for. Where have you gone, Nicks?
Yeah, you know what? Respect Nottingham Forest. I'm not saying you like aren't. But they've done well this season so far. They've picked up points. Our knees contributed to every game, a goal or an assist so far this season. Obviously, they've gone to Chelsea and won, not very hard. Put 2 past Man United, again, not very hard. But they still have to go there and do it. And they've done it. And I don't think it's going to be easy. It could end up being 3-1, even if it's not an easy game. The scoreline can sometimes flatter in the end. But I'm going to go 2-1 City.
The thing of going away and not necessarily away, but going and scoring goals for a team like Forest at Chelsea against United, they're still big clubs. They're still big 6 clubs. You can take that confidence. You can tell your team, listen, you've packed goals against City, against Chelsea, against Man United. You know, this is just another one of them big clubs. You can try and instill that in them, even if they're not obviously that level at the moment.
No, I fully agree. Let us know your predictions in the chat as well. I will try and read out a few of them. Mal here says 2-2 Burnley comeback. See, there's a few goals that have gone in a few of the other games as well. 1-0 Barnsley in League One at the moment. Callum Stiles helping them take the lead. And Harry Clark helping Ipswich take the lead in the Championship against Blackburn. 3-0 in the Bayern game as well. Matthias de Ligt chipping in with a third in the 29th minute. Roger Smith says he thinks 1-0 Luton versus Wolves. So predicting their first home win today. That would be a surprise for me.
It'd be big if they get it. It'd be huge if they get it.
You can see why Dan Lamb says, you can see why Palhinha nearly joined Bayern Munich. That's what they are lacking. I remember thinking that midweek when they was in the Champions League as well, just against United, where I just thought, if they had Palhinha, just that little bit of security in front of their backlines, they just wouldn't be as susceptible to the counter-attacks.
That's why, obviously, I know we're going to probably speak about it a bit more depth, but when all is said and done, I'm disappointed that we didn't go to Bayern in better form more than anything. Because obviously going to the form that we were, a loss was always expected. But if
you put up a better fight,
if
than
Arsenal went to
expected,
Bayern on midweek, based on how they've been playing, how Arsenal been playing, or how Arsenal played, especially against PSV, I'd expect Arsenal to win. Man City beat this Bayern team, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I know we're not those teams, but it's like, we lost 4-3 and we're bad. Imagine we were half decent.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we could have won that game. So Bayern aren't perfect. I mean, I said they were going in for Kane, which probably ate up a lot of their budget. But the Paulinho one just fell through in the last minute, wasn't it? So,
I always say Højbjerg was the domino effect that ruined all those moves. Him rejecting Fulham meant that they couldn't get their DM, which meant Paulinho, they wouldn't give the green light to join Bayern. It's had such a domino effect, all because he was holding out for an Atletico Madrid move, and none of it ended up happening all in the end, and now he's sat on our bench.
goal at the Etihad.
Oh, goal already.
And already we have one. 7 minutes in. Nick, who's it gone to?
It's the boy, man. It's Philip Foden. He's too good. He's actually too good. You know, people have spoken about him being dropped and being rotated and stuff like that, but we know that's Pep's style of management. This is what he does to kind of galvanise players. He believes in motivating his players and kind of pulling the ego out of them.
Yeah.
And whenever he does go away and not get played, he comes back and he goes straight back to top form and starts packing in goals and doing outrageous things again. And Phil Foden, 7 minutes in, 1-0 City.
I think this is a massive season for Phil Foden. Obviously, he's had a great career so far, won everything at his age, and he's been important in a lot of those. Maybe not the most crucial, but in different spells in every season, he comes to the fore. But with De Bruyne's injury, with the players that have left this summer, the experienced players like Gundogan, like Mahrez, he's going to have to step up. Yeah, they brought in Doku. We know they've got quality players already. Kovacic is coming from experience. Haaland did what he did last year, but we're talking about creativity. We're talking about goals from the midfield, driving the team forward, maybe grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. Phil Foden's got that in him. Yeah. Now we need to see it on a consistent basis, because for me, the Saka Foden debate that's been going on, and right now Saka's leading because of what he's done. Yeah. But for me, Foden should be leading because of what he is and what he can be.
Do you feel like with Mahrez is now leaving, with KDB's injury as well, he's kind of now almost by force been given the keys? That's his first goal of the season, by the way. I think he did score against England versus Scotland, but 4 assists so far. That's I think he assisted midweek in the Champions League as well. But is this now kind of time for him to make this team his own, you feel like?
For sure. I think him and Saka suffer from the same problems, where they're both so good. A couple of years ago, Foden was above Saka 100%. Now Saka's kind of taken him over, but just because he gets regular football. But what people used to say about Saka, rival fans, they used to say, well, if he's that good, why hasn't he carved out a set position? You're playing him wing back, you're playing him on both wings. Where's his position? We had similar question marks about Mason Greenwood. He's a winger, is he a striker? Which position is his best? And Phil Foden as well. He's so good. He can play out wide and be he controls in tight spaces so well. Is he a 10? Is he? For me personally, I like him central, especially being left-footed, being the way he's able to strike the ball. For me,
and you saw that even with England.
Yes,
kind of when he came more centrally, how much more potent he can be. I've always thought, you can make use of him out wide. But similar to like Kevin De Bruyne, I feel like they're
and Bernardo Silva.
Like they're just best at their best when you just kind of give them that little bit of freedom to pick pockets, pick spaces that they can kind of read games in. And I just feel like Phil Foden, for me, has always been technically one of the most clear youngsters in the world. And then it's like mentally, age-wise, you've always felt like he's way more mature, and we're almost waiting for, all right, can we see the full version?
Make that
Pep
position
is almost, to be credit to Pep, he's actually
managed him quite well.
Managed him very well, you could say. Because
he has
on the other end, you could say, with where you're kind of saying Saka's ahead, I do feel like with Arsenal there are some concerns sometimes where, are we overplaying him? The amount of games in a row we've started him, 2 years in a row this kid hasn't.
And some of that I put on England as well, because England have played him in games where he absolutely didn't need to play. He's nailed a starting position now in that England team. He can be rested.
And that's a double-edged sword of almost being like a wonder kid, I feel like, where you become so important for your team, you're not allowed to give him a moment's rest. But then in Foden, where he's kind of in that kind of system where, all right, we got talent everywhere, basically. We're stocked, so we can give you 20 minutes here. We can give you 10 games out wide.
But you know what I'll say, Fuad? I think, obviously, Pep's managed him perfectly for Man City.
That's what I was going to say,
I think he's 23 years old. For the quality that he is, he should have nailed down in any other team, maybe under any other manager. He should be like nailed down, if not a position, at least a starting place, wherever in that team. Look at the likes of Wayne Rooney. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
When they came to Man United and we went and won not the treble, won the double, the Premier League and Champions League, they were around the 22, 23-year-old age with experience around them, but they were, without a shadow of a doubt, whether Rooney was up front on the left or on the right, whether Ronaldo was anywhere across that front three, first two names on that team sheet.
Yeah.
And I get it, the way that Pep manages is a bit different. Some of their best players don't play more than 25 league games in a season. But I feel like Pep's done what's best for Man City. I think Foden's development has slightly been hindered by the fact that Pep is managing the way that he is. But it's still
23 is still young in my eyes.
No, it is.
It's still young. And I just feel like if now we look at Foden for the next, let's say, 10 years, he is now that guy that
he
we're
has
waiting
to be.
for.
Now he
and
has
this
to be.
season, you are starting to see that. And let's not act like, he's just been a squad player or a youth option off the bench. There was a season he was getting double-doubles.
No, he's been brilliant.
He's been doing
but it's
great.
like,
I remember that.
Man should be playing 40 games a season.
Was it that
he's that
Champions
good.
League campaign when they lost in the final? He was the one in the knockout stages versus Dortmund.
Yeah.
Was it Gladbach? Getting them through in games where it's like, yo, we need someone. And little old Foden was popping up clutch. And I was just like, yo, now he's becoming that man. But I feel like this season, with those injuries, with those departures, it's just giving him that extra bit of responsibility to say, you know what? Make this team your own. And I think now we're starting to see that. But 1-0 in that game, still 0-0 in the Wolves and Luton game. Crystal Palace and Fulham still 0-0 as well. AC Milan in Serie A are leading 1-0 versus Verona, ironically. And Bayern Munich.
4-0.
It's 4-0 at this point. Leroy Sané assisted by Harry Kane, of course.
They've built their confidence off of whooping United.
Whooping?
Not whooping. But beating United.
Strong words. Strong words.
I was watching the Arsenal game, and I was
watching
watching the Arsenal game.
the Europa League game on a Wednesday.
I was watching
against PSV.
I was watching Arsenal, and my obviously when it was 2-0, I was just getting mad WhatsApps of like, oh, United is bare banter. So I thought United were getting smoked, and then when I watched the highlights, I was like, okay, they didn't get smoked like that. It wasn't that bad, but I was really hoping that you man got smoked.
Arsenal, of course you were, because you got a 10-2 sitting on you. You lot got a 7-2 sitting on you.
Leave us out.
I'm just saying.
Leave us out. I ain't say no. Friendly fire over there, please.
Everyone wanted it, and you know what? We came out of the game and we move on, innit? We lost the way at Bayern.
We moved.
Whoop-de-doo. No one ain't talking about that in history.
And there's another goal.
Oh my goodness! And so it begins.
Oh.
That 2-1's looking shaky for me already, boy. Even you lot's 3-1 looking shaky. That might.
Where's it gone to, Nick? Talk to me.
I'm not sure about this. This Nottingham Forest defence is the problem. I mean, they have so much attacking talent. Obviously, Awani's been on fire. Morgan Gibbs-White, but they're 2-0 down. Just 15 minutes in, and obviously, look, it's Nottingham Forest against Manchester City. Maybe you could say this is expected, but yeah, it's a second, and it's Haaland. It's Haaland this time, and the first goal from the robot. The first goal for Foden was insane. It goes from Doku, switches it right across the other side of the box. It's knocked down by Kyle Walker, and then smashed in by Phil Foden. But Haaland, we said that he's not chipping in with goals like he was. He hasn't started the season on lightning form, but these are the games where he'll go and get a hat-trick, build his confidence and carry that with him into the next game. So,
well, this is it, because didn't he get a hat-trick against, was it Fulham, the game they won 5? Did he get a hat-trick? I feel like he's got a hat-trick this season already, but it's like,
Actually not sure. I think he got a brace, I remember.
Was it a brace? But he can do that where he doesn't.
The Burnley game, he got a brace. I think actually, the Fulham game, yeah.
Where he doesn't necessarily, it was a second half hat-trick. He doesn't really necessarily do much, but bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
He's got 3 goals. And his goal tally is just what no one else can compete with.
Yeah, and this one was a header as well, so not just like great strikes to the ball, but we know he's so big and strong and able to mix it up with defenders and getting all types of different goals. Just makes him an absolute animal.
City 2-0 up in that game now and making it look like easy work basically, but Nottingham Forest will be disappointed in that, hoping with a reaction. Still 0-0 in the Wolves and Wolverhampton game, 13 minutes gone just there. And 15 minutes gone in the Palace-Fulham game, still 0-0 over there. There have been a few goals elsewhere. Plymouth have taken the lead against Norwich Morgan Whittaker on the 15th minute, giving them the lead. And Wigan have gone 1-0 down against Bristol Rovers. Luke Thomas scoring in League One. Wigan these days spending their time in League One. Man, they've been there for a while, haven't they?
I was just going to say Southampton, and they just went and scored against Middlesbrough because they've been having a rough time. They've been having a rough time in the Championship.
Got knocked out in the Carabao very early on as well. It's not been easy going in that Championship. Adam Armstrong, who was a record signing from the Championship at the time as well, maybe back in familiar settings will look like his old self again.
And Middlesbrough, obviously, under Michael Carrick, last year he did well to keep them from relegation. Right now, they're
Remember when they were giving Carrick hype? United fans, I ain't forgot, you know.
No, they were saying give him the contract.
Give him the contract. He's the only one who got back-to-back games, good games out of Sancho. What are you talking about?
I'm just seeing a replay of the Haaland goal as well, and it's easy as you like cross in from the right wing, and he just. How does he have that much space in the box? I don't understand. I'm like, you've got 3 centre backs. Should it not be 2 for 1?
He's also so big. It's not like you've missed him. It's not like, I didn't see him there. He's massive.
It's nuts.
Harry Kane, I just realised, he's got 7 goals, 7 games, 6 goals, 3 assists, so 9 goal contributions in 7 games for Bayern.
Yeah, easy.
Can anybody say they're surprised? Like, this guy was putting up 30 goals in a awful Tottenham team, bro. Like, he was the creator. There was a season he was the top assist and top goal scorer. It was like 3 years ago, bro. Like, this is an offensive machine is what I called him. Like, some people called us the Harry Kane team, and listen, they weren't too wrong, you know, in some aspects, but there were other contributing factors. But going to the Bundesliga, I think it was only going to be a matter of time. I said, I'm looking to see if he can actually break Lewandowski's record first year. I want you to go there and be like, hey,
that's my target.
That took you 8 years to do that. A big man, let me show you how it's done. They were putting you in the same bracket as me and Benz. No, we're different levels.
Who did they replace? Is he like Lewandowski's first proper? Who did they replace him with?
It was Choupo-Moting last year.
Okay, so he's like the first real replacement.
He's the first one, and I want him to just come in and blow the doors off that club, man, and just say,
but this is it.
Even if they don't win the Champions League, just take them to the final. Just so they're like, hey, you know what? We got something here. We need some more.
But this is it. It's like, obviously, Lewandowski, we know he's scoring all those goals in the Bundesliga, and it's great. And he did it in the Champions League as well. So you have to say this guy he's quality. But there was never much between the two of them, Harry Kane and Lewandowski. It's just that one played for Bayern Munich and one played for Spurs.
Yeah.
And that for me was the only difference. Now, for me, the team that Bayern's got this year wasn't necessarily as good as the one that Lewandowski played in for how many years. But where Harry Kane can kind of cement and say, yeah, I am as good as Lewandowski, or I always was. You just saw me playing for Tottenham, is what you do in the Champions League. The goals in the Bundesliga, break his record, cool, no problem. But they won the Bundesliga with like 68 points last year. They were one of their worst seasons. He needs to go and perform in the Champions League. He did well against Man United. They obviously scored a penalty, got an assist for, should be an Onana assist really, but got the assist for Leroy Sané. But he's done well. But it's about what you do when it gets to knockout rounds, the quarterfinals, semi-finals. For me, that's the one. That's the one where he's going to prove himself.
Right. Let me get to some super chats as well. I haven't missed them. I was just waiting for the right time. Big up Marmo. He says, just want Spurs to humble Bottle Job FC this weekend. Oh, wow, how the tables have turned.
Wait, so Arsenal Bottle Job FC now.
Well. Who has a more recent bottling? I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
That's a more recent trophy.
Big up David NL as well. He says, big up the Saturday Football Show. No, big up yourselves. Make sure you're liking that. Make sure you're smashing the like button as well if you're enjoying the stream. We will be bringing plenty more conversation as well. RTX says, 4th Premier League in a row. It's coming.
Sorry, who played that ball to Walker for? Was that Rodri?
Nunes, I think it was.
Mateus Nunes.
Yeah, I think it was.
If that's a ball and a half.
Yeah,
oh my!
insane.
I just seen it. Oh my god!
Insane.
He might just turn once.
I mean, say what you want. Say what you want about Pep, the money and the teams and whatever, but.
So you know that to pick a player.
What a coach! Like, because who signs for this guy and doesn't play better, and he doesn't improve. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. What this guy's able to do. But yeah, everyone that goes to that club is just it's a joke.
That's the thing with Pep signings. It's like, and it's about who won the transfer window. Well, as long as Pep signs 3 players, he wins it every time because he knows what he's buying. He knows what he wants them to do, and invariably he gets them to do it.
Well, he takes players that are good and makes them great. Do you know what I mean? You look at your Bernardo Silvas, you look at Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker was young, quick, bombing down the wing, overlapping fullback, but he went on to be something so much more than that. Kevin De Bruyne,
he's the best right back in Premier League history, personally.
He's definitely in that conversation. Kevin De Bruyne, massive improvements from him. Seen as like a flop a couple of years ago. Only went to Wolfsburg for a couple of years. And Bernardo Silva, very good technical player, but people thought maybe not ready for the Prem. Couldn't deal with the physicality of the Prem. He's too small. Goes on and just becomes, one of the best midfielders. So it's insane. We were having a conversation with my boys this week about what makes somebody world class. Do you know what I mean? And there's all these different parameters. We throw these terms around, but for me, if somebody can play at all levels of ball, we're talking about Lewandowski and what he did for Bayern. He also did it for his country, did it Champions League. They've got a lot of world-class players in that team, 100%.
Yeah.
Listen, Bayern Munich, I think, are going to be a problem this year in the Champions League for sure.
But they conceded 3 to Man United, so
I think
defense
that's where that earlier comment where they were saying with Paulinho, I just feel like had he come in, he would have just given them that extra blanket of security. You just feel like with Upamecano and Kim Min-jae, as good as they are, I'm sorry, but Sven Ulreich behind them is not.
Yeah, I heard the keeper dropped a bit of a stinker.
Some of those goals I felt like were really easy to save. Like people were criticising Onana, but I'm looking at the other side thinking, Ulreich, my God, man, Neuer needs to come back very quickly, very, very quickly.
This is why you should have 2 world-class goalkeepers in your squad.
Oh,
yeah.
So name me a team that does.
Arsenal.
Nope. Name me another one, please.
He was going to run to that one.
You
quickly,
ain't got
wasn't
one. You ain't. What? Neither of them are world class.
Excuse me?
Neither of them are world class. World class?
Well, I think
one got one Champions League appearance, the other's got 0.
but that's not necessarily what
how
makes
you
somebody.
judging? How you judging them world
Well,
class?
when I say what they can, he comes second in the Premier League last year. It's not a trophy, but he comes second. That's the best league in the world, and there are big shouts that he should be starting for England over Jordan Pickford. That's a common consensus.
But nobody says that Jordan Pickford's world class, so him starting over him or not.
Yeah, but Jordan
Pickford
Pickford's gone to the final of the last 2 international tournaments.
is Jordan Pickford world class.
He's got to the final. He's got to the final. He's got to the final. Listen, right now I'm happier with both my goalkeepers than I would be with Onana.
You should be.
And people consider Onana world class.
Well, people.
Exactly.
I'll bring people here. Bring people here today, please.
There you go.
Just seen
I'm
a
not
stat
people.
come in as well, by the way. Man City in the first 11 minutes completely dominated possession. Do you want to know what the percentage stats were for the first 11 minutes of that game?
I think
91?
99%.
What? I was about to say, as somebody that plays football, if my team, if I'm playing a game of football in real life and my team has less than like 20% possession, I might go home. That's less than 10%. That's 1%.
You just got to get sent off at
That is
point.
despicable, honestly. But you touched on Onana there. Just briefly there, I want to ask you, Neeks. He's someone I feel like since he's come in this summer has caused a bit of divide. Where do you kind of stand on what your feelings were when you initially brought him in, but then after seeing obviously these early couple of games, what has your opinion improved or worsened? What's your kind of feelings now?
All right, let me land. And I know the social.
Get ready to clip this.
He's going to clip it because he clipped me already. Made a little YouTube short. The keyword is just short because I'm not going to say took it out of context, but it doesn't give people the full analysis of my position on Onana. So listen to this, but take what you want from when it gets clipped up. I expect it. I ain't got no problem with that. When we needed a new goalkeeper, David De Gea had to go. David De Gea is past his best, and his best was right up there. 2018, for me, the best keeper in the world over about a 2-year period. And over, I would say, about a 5-year period, it was definitely top 3, top 4 with the likes of Oblak, Courtois, and of course, Manuel Neuer. But he had to go. He was making his basic mistakes based on his own ability. So just shot stopping and those kind of things, which is he's supposed to be peaking at. He was making those mistakes. He's never been great command in the box when it comes to like catching crosses or from corners, set pieces, etc. And he hasn't been good with the ball at his feet. And the way that Ten Hag wants to play and the way that football is going, you want a keeper who can play with the ball at his feet. And that limited us in a way last season. And I say limited us because of the way that Ten Hag wants to play. But to an extent, it actually played to our strengths as a team because I don't think we've got enough players from the back going forward who are comfortable with the ball at their feet. So David De Gea passing it to them doesn't actually bring the best out of them because they don't always want the ball. The likes of Wan-Bissaka, for example. Even Varane is not top class on the ball. He's good, but he ain't top class. Shaw, Martinez, I think those are probably the best in our defence who can do that. What Onana brings and what I thought he would bring, he has brought. He commands his box, crosses comes in, he can catch and punch. Playing out from the back, as we saw against Arsenal, nobody even bothers to press him because they know that he's going to bypass the press. The problem is when you don't press him, well, what the players that he's able to now pass to, what can they do? And Arsenal backed off, said, all right, pass to those players who aren't as good, and we'll just get it off them. And that's the drawbacks to bringing Onana into this current team. Not the drawbacks to Onana, but the drawbacks to bringing him into this current team, that you don't allow his best attributes to be realised because the players around him can't benefit from it. They can't take the ball and turn and start attacks in the way that you want him to. So effectively, by bringing Onana, you've actually weakened the goalkeeping position in the immediate because the team can't benefit from it, and his goalkeeping, his hand, like his shot stopping, ain't as good as you really want it to be. And of course, it's nowhere near like peak David De Gea. Onana for me, long term, will be a benefit. Mm-hmm. But right now, the jury's out, because if you can't stop the ball going into the back of the net, regardless of what you can do with the ball at your feet, that is going to be where the criticism lies and where the judgment's going to be. Claudio Bravo came into the Man City team, was brilliant with the ball at their feet, couldn't stop the ball from going.
Do you
back
not feel like
in the
that
net.
might be just teething issues? And I want to ask you as well, because you had Ramsdale come in, and I remember he's kind of like a ball-playing goalkeeper as well, if you like. But you always feel like when a new goalkeeper comes in, there has to be that kind of settling period. We've just had Vicario come in. I remember first game he looked shaky, but since then he's kind of looked solid. And I know there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be moments where you kind of do look at him sideways. Now you've obviously brought Riot in. What do you kind of make of their situation? Do you think
it's part of
should be kind of just something they ride through?
Yeah, I think they need to ride through it. First of all, I mean, it's part of any transition, right? We saw Tottenham under previous managers go to a back five, and they had good fullbacks but not wing backs. And we've seen Arsenal go to playing out from the back, and we had good solid defenders but not ball playing defenders. And so there is a conversation there to be had about whether or not you should have gotten on first. Maybe you address having more ball playing defenders before you get the goalkeeper, but at the same time he is considered one of the top goalkeepers, and it's thought he's probably going to go somewhere. We need to strike now, which is why we've gone and got David Raya when we've still got Ramsdale, but we can't miss the opportunity. Someone's going to take him. And like you said, I said straight away when we played you guys, I thought, we're just not even going to press that goalkeeper because he is so good. And Ramsdale's good at hitting the ball into space. If you cut up the pitch into grids of squares, he can drop the ball into a square, and that's very good for a goalkeeper. Onana can actually pick Onana and Raya, I was going to say, but Onana, both of them can actually pick out a player. You know, it's like almost what you would have considered a central midfielder's level of quality pass. He's flicking the ball over Nketiah's head. He is very, very good at that. But you will have to. The only concern I would have if I was a United fan is how much this transition period, damages his confidence. So by the time he gets those ball playing centre backs in and those ball playing defenders, now he's got a full back five. He's now actually maybe regressed as the actual goalkeeper. So maybe there's a bit of a problem there. But a lot of it is the natural transition. If you believe in Ten Hag, and to be fair, I'm enjoying laughing at United, but a lot of the problems that are being thrown onto Ten Hag at the moment are not problems of his own making. They're things that are completely out of his control. So, you know, you can't really. He's the person who's going to get the brunt of that frustration. But I think, like I say, these things are natural teething issues, and you have to just be able to go through it. You know, Aaron Ramsdale's been clipped up a bunch of times whenever he does make a save, and whenever he doesn't make a save, and the bigger the reputation is that you come in with, the more people are going to laugh at you.
Look at someone like Ederson, and for me, it annoys me when people talk about Ederson like they do Alisson. Alisson for me is the best keeper in the world, and he is a level above Ederson. Ederson is spoken about as one of the best keepers in the world. I'm not even saying that he's not. The goalkeeping has changed in terms of what you want from him. But the reason why Ederson doesn't get clipped up in the way that a Ramsdale might or Onana has, because he's made errors like this before. Yeah. But because Man City will still score 4 goals and win the game 4-1, it's a side note. Because maybe it's the first goal you can see when Man City come back and win the game. And additionally, maybe he's facing half the amount of shots that a Ramsdale or I say Ramsdale and Onana are not on the same level, but other keepers who've been, you know, clipped up or whatever, criticised, they're facing half the amount of shots because of the way Man City play as a team. So his deficiencies are being hidden, and his benefits to the team are being highlighted and being exacerbated. And I think the ideal, because Onana for me is never going to be Alisson. Alisson for me, shot stopping is brilliant, distribution is brilliant as well, command of the box, etc. But I'm hoping that we can get to a stage, and he can get to a stage where he's the Ederson for us. Yeah, I know you're going to make an error, but what you bring to the team far outweighs the one error that you might make every 5 games or every 10 games. That's not going to cost us. But we're just not there. If he makes an error, we lose the game. If Maguire comes on, he makes an error, we lose the game. If Rashford isn't on form, we lose the game. Like every person right now has to be on tip-top form for us to win the game.
And a lot of that is
And
signings because you haven't got the squad, you haven't got the bench. We are now, for the first time in maybe close to 10 years, we can have crucial players in our starting 11 be injured and replace it almost at the same level of those players. We haven't had that for a very, very long time. And we're able to be tactically flexible where we've won games with 2 or 3 different players playing striker. We beat Man City for the first time in God knows how long with Kai Havertz up top, which is not something that we've returned to for the rest of the season, but it's something that's in the back pocket for if we do need to do that type of thing, if we're going to play a game where we're not going to dominate the ball. So these things are all about allowing you guys to be tactically flexible for the longer term. Do you know what I mean? So,
and this is why it's crucial for me that we stick by Ten Hag. Because imagine, okay, you get rid of Ten Hag now and you go and get, God knows. Oh, Onana's not the keeper I want. I don't want to play it from the back.
He's actually recently said, listen, Onana might not be perfect, but he's good enough for Man United. And I think at the moment, he does seem to split opinions, but we've seen Bruno on the United view. I'm sure production have got a clip rolled up for us, passionately defending Onana.
Everything is done for the team. He's being always available. He's someone that's always training hard. He's someone that deserves his chances, and he did well today. He did the job that the manager asked him to do, and we are all happy for him because he really deserves to get his chances. Thank you, guys.
Andre's been beating himself up a bit after that. He's talking a lot about.
That's what I mean. He's a great goalkeeper. Exactly. He will keep giving us a lot of points, a lot of saves. He hasn't to take any blame for nothing. We have to take the blame as a team that we're gonna go through this moment together because we are strong as a team.
thanks, Bruno.
You can see Bruno defending Onana viciously there. And to be fair to Onana as well, I think some of the times when I've seen him stood in front of the press, I know even before the Champions League game, he's always come out and taken accountability. And I think as much as you want to see that, at some point you do want to see the performances follow up with that as well, and it to not just be every week you're coming out and taking ownership. But I do honestly like to see that in a player, and it's not the first time. I remember when he was at Ajax, when he was at Inter Milan, the same questions were being asked. Can you play this kind of daring style? Can you actually not make the mistakes you make? And every single time you've kind of seen him rise above it. I remember he came back from a long ban at Ajax, came back, hit form straight away, got the move to Inter Milan, and I remember Ajax were a little bit bitter about how the whole move happened, but gets Inter Milan to their first Champions League in over a decade. So it's like every time I've seen Onana be able to answer it, and I'm someone who I think he's the qualities he brings, you don't find those in every goalkeeper. That's why Man City are so lucky they've got an Edison. Liverpool are so lucky they've got an Alisson. And people might say Alisson might not be the great, but the qualities he has, you can't find that elsewhere. Do you know what I mean?
And this is the point that when you were talking about when our team is ready, so to speak, how is his confidence going to be? My hope is that 27 years old, he's gone through certain experiences like the ban, etc., that a media report here or there, a bad performance, it's not going to knock him like early days David De Gea. When David De Gea came in, he was getting battered physically and in the media for the errors that he was making, etc. And we actually dropped him out of the team for a period, and then he was kind of in and out until he was able to find himself. 27 years old, 28 soon. You hope that Onana can ride out the criticism, and the fact that he's so willing to come out after his first high-profile mistake in the Champions League and take responsibility. When, of course, we didn't lose the game purely because of him, but he owned it. He said, "We lost it because of me." I rate that, but you don't want to hear that every week. You want
100%.
And again, against us, you guys brought on Maguire and Evans to see the game out. Now that's down to injuries. That's not tactical, and you could Glazers out and all that, not spending the money and all the rest of it, but what's the keeper going to do? There hasn't been a goalkeeper that's been successful playing behind Maguire since he's come into the club. Do you know what I mean? So
Evans at 37 or whatever, that's ridiculous.
Listen, it's a tough situation at United at the moment. And
just chuck us 150 mil, we'll give you Ramsdale.
Wait, I know you said that Ramsdale you finished second last year, but some will say he's one of the reasons why you didn't win it. At back end of the season, he's making some mistakes.
And in the ruthless top club that we are, he's no longer number one. That's what we have standards at this club.
That's what ruthless clubs do. And we'll be seeing what moves United make in January, because Cam's on the FCM. In case you're new around here and you ain't familiar, FCM every Sunday we're bringing you, me, Cams and Mayowa. We're back. We're bringing you some good content. Come chill with us after the final game, and we'll be covering everything that happens throughout the weekend. But here's Cams talking about Ten Hag's situation and what might be happening soon.
Ten Hag's job rides on Marcus Rashford's form, bro. And if his form continues like this,
So you're happy to ride with Ten Hag no matter what happens this season?
We'll talk about
what happens this year, that's an exaggeration.
see?
No, well, hold on.
Okay.
If Man United don't make Champions League this season, I'm sorry, his job's on the line, mate. Like, let's get realistic. But you man are talking about end of the season. I'm worried if Ten Hag's gonna make it to January, and I'm being dead serious right now. I'm worried if Ten Hag's gonna make it to January. Champions League.
Yeah, I could tell.
You're
nervous about that.
Away.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place this season, Ten Hag. It could get sticky for him, but we'll see how he plays it this weekend. Of course, you guys are playing
Burnley away.
Burnley away,
8
which is the
o'clock
8 o'clock kickoff, of course. What are your kind of... Actually, do you know what? We'll kind of preview that one a little bit more later. I want to get into that one properly because after the midweek licks, let's let you recover. Just over half an hour gone in the 3 o'clock kickoff, 34 minutes gone. It's still 0-0 at Crystal Palace Fulham. Luton are still drawing as well with Wolves, and Man City are still 2-0 up. In and around elsewhere, AC Milan are still 1-0 up. Bayern Munich 4-0 at half time. Dortmund Wolfsburg are drawing 0-0 as well. And Preston have just gone down 1-0 to Jordan Hugel's goal.
I think there's a red card.
Oh, red card, do we?
Is it Jean Bellegarde?
Ooh, Jean Bellegarde, who actually made his
Foul
debut
play,
last
serious foul
week
play.
against Liverpool. Started off incredibly in that first half, looking like one of the player of the matches, and 15 million signing from Strasbourg seems to have got himself sent
serious foul
off.
play. I'm not sure exactly the incident, but
Jean-Guigne Bellegarde. Red card. Wolves down to 10 men, which will probably give Luton some positive hope.
Yeah.
First home win potentially today if they can get the 3 points there. But that will be a massive boost for them.
Obviously, we're not watching the game, but 54% possession Luton so far, 7 shots, 1 on target, no big chances created. But on the flip side, Wolves haven't had a shot. Wolves have not had a shot all game so far, and now they're down to 10 men.
Luton have come out swinging and going down to 10 men now. I'm sure they'll be delighted with that, because if they can snatch a goal before half time, that will be a delightful day at the office for them. But just to touch back on that United game, 8 o'clock this afternoon, what is your kind of feeling after that Champions League defeat? Is the mood now kind of, all right, let's just get 3 points by any means necessary?
3 points is the most important thing. So if you say to me you got 2 options, a terrible game and you nick it in the last minute, you win 1-0, or you play well and draw 2-2. I don't know how you can continue 2 goals to Burnley, but you get what I'm saying. I'm taking that 1-0 scrap. Because right now we need wins. Ten Hag needs wins desperately, or as Cam says, Christmas we might be having a discussion about the next manager. I don't think we're going to sack him anytime soon, but that's how quick the pressure can go in the Premier League. We need to win this game. I'm not even considering another result at this point. If you can't beat Burnley
at Turf Moor,
I know, I get it, but Burnley ain't got a win all season yet. I don't think any
which is why even more so to be wary of them. I feel like
I think you have to be wary.
They'll be looking at you guys thinking, United limping a little bit.
Company will want it.
Yeah, he's gonna want it.
Former City man.
It's an 8 o'clock kickoff under the lights. It's not gonna be easy. I don't expect it to be easy. But for me, our season has to start tonight. We've got I read out the fixtures: Burnley away, Palace at home, Brentford at home, Sheffield United away, Man City at home, Fulham away, Luton at home, Everton away, Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, and Bournemouth at home.
So of the next 5 games, other than Brentford and City, the next 5-6 games, you guys should be picking up a lot of points.
I'm looking for 4 wins in a row before we play City.
Yeah.
And over that 11-game period that I just read out, for me, the City game and the Newcastle game away are the only ones I'm like, if we drop points...
Newcastle?
Away. Yeah. Newcastle away.
Yeah.
If we drop points, I get it.
Yeah.
The rest of them,
if
we're talking about finishing in the top 4, going far in the cup, bringing up some kind of form, etc., we need to be winning. I'm talking 8 out of our next 11. I know that's not how football works, but based on the start of the season, we can't afford to be dropping these points to silly teams, because we know points are going to get dropped when we play Man City, when we play well, we played Arsenal already. Liverpool, for example, we haven't gone to Anfield yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, we got Palace back to back, once in the cup and once in the league. I'm looking for four wins in a row straight before we play Man City, and that starts today. Has to.
Based on like all the madness that's happening at the club at the moment, and go into, because we're hearing different things out of the club. Some players supporting Sancho, some players we're hearing different. You know, some people just like not too fast, whatever. You guys going to the Allianz, poor form, not a full squad, injuries, whatnot, scoring 3 goals. Do you think that could be like a sign of some sort of siege mentality, bringing the people that are there and chipping in training every day, bringing them closer together and fighting for each other a lot more?
Well, there's 2 things actually, because once after the Brighton game, apparently McTominay and Bruno got into it. I don't not say physical, but
got into a beef,
and Martinez and Lindelof, and people looking, Tomo in the camp, and I was like, blood, we lost 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
If someone wasn't arguing with someone else, I'm gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
Everyone can't just be happy going home like that. No, you better. I'm disappointed that it was only them 2 that I heard, or them 4. Those 2 arguments. Everyone should be having a go at each other, and then having a go at themselves for the rut that we're in. So I think after on the back of that, going to the Allianz, everyone's expecting a battering. Everyone, and Man United, we shouldn't be like, at least we only lost 4-3. But the reality of where we are right now. I'll take the 4-3 because it could have been a lot worse. And the fact that we kept going to the end, even though we kept, letting them in at the other end, we kept going to the end. As I said on the watch along, and when Laurie asked me, you hope that resilience that we show to try just keep going, just try to get another one, we can take that into the next few games. And I think with the fixtures how they are, the next 4 or 5, even without the quality, that resilience should be able to see over the line against Burnley, Sheffield United, and Crystal Palace. So I think. And the way that Bruno spoke about Onana coming out and, owning it. You have to create that kind of,
culture.
Yeah, things are tough, but we ain't thrown in the towel. We're taking responsibility and we are pulling together in the same direction. There are players who are not. There's a lot of leaks coming out in the club and the speculation about who. Because there's players here who don't want to be here. Players here that the manager don't want, but some reason they're still here. And I think it's about weeding those out or quieting those that they can't keep talking, they can't keep leaking stuff to the press, and creating, as you say, a siege mentality to say, you know what, things are tough, but we need to make sure that we get results. And I'm confident.
The only thing I worry about with you lot, not worry because I don't care, but the thing is with your manager, the one thing like tactically and like structuring the team and stuff, he's a good coach, but his communication style sometimes, there's a few times he says things where I'm not sure that's what he quite meant to say, or it's been taken out of context in interviews and different things like that. And so that communication style, I'm not sure that I feel that there could be a problem there between the way that he communicates and what people are reading from that. A lot of that is obviously media spin, but even when I listen to it with my own ears, because I was reading the quotes about him saying about Davis isn't a good defender. I don't know if you read that. He said Davis isn't a good defender and Palestri should run at him and beat him. It should be this before the game. And when I read the quote, I thought surely he didn't. That's obviously misquoted. And then I watched the video. That's exactly what he said. Davis is not such a good defender and Palestri should. I was like, whoa, this is.
Big up Mishak for the super chat as well. He says, Neeks caps. You guys just aren't good enough. H says United getting checked and it stinks bad as well.
But I don't want him to say, all right, we're going to lose to Burnley and we're going to get relegated. Like, when you're right, we're not.
What does it mean if you guys lose tonight? At Turf Moor, it's not easy. Burnley pick up their first win. It's a momentum turner for them. But what does it mean for Ten Hag?
And a 0-0 for Burnley is a good result.
Even a 0-0 would be good for them. But what does it mean for kind of Ten Hag and how the dressing room looks at the minute? Because as you're saying, there's kind of a few arguments happening. Results aren't exactly going your way. And it almost feels like that typical United second season thing with a manager where, all right, we've had that first year of the initial bounce, but now comes the summer of not really getting his targets, and the manager gets a little grouchy. We've seen it with Van Gaal, we've seen it with Jose, we've seen it with Oli a little bit, and now it's like it's his turn.
Honestly, if we lose today, I think the writing's on the wall. I'm not saying he's getting sacked tomorrow, but if we lose today, I think it's the countdown. You're thinking, okay, you can't beat Burnley. You're probably going to get... Maybe you might eke through in the Carabao Cup against Palace, but you ain't beating them back-to-back, so you're going to lose one of those games or drop points in the league. You might beat Galatasaray in between. Sometimes cups can kind of master the league problem, but you're going to go back in the league and Brentford are going to put 2 past you because, Brentford are decent. So, like, for me, if we lose today, the writing is on the wall and we could be talking... Come the new year, you could be talking about a new manager. I'm not going to be one saying go, he needs to go. We've been in worse situations, and I ain't gone against the manager.
Yeah.
Because I know, and I've seen through the history of those managers that you mentioned, getting rid of the manager puts a plaster over a big problem when you actually need surgery, and it covers it over for a year, and you get back in the Champions League, and everyone's like, we're going the right direction. And then 6 months later, you get rid of it and get a new manager. So for me, getting rid of Ten Hag ain't going to solve our problem. So I'm not going to be front and centre of the brigade to get him out. Even if, listen, they got bad under Ollie. And I knew when we lost to Liverpool 5-1, I think it was 5-1 at home, no, 5-0 even at home.
Yeah.
I knew he had to go. But I'm not, Ollie out. What's that going to do? I know that getting Ollie out at that point ain't going to make us win the league in 18 months.
You'd rather plan things properly, basically,
There's a big issues at Manchester United, and getting rid of Ten Hag ain't going to solve it.
Whenever people call for any manager to go, I always ask the question, any club, my club included, like, who do you want to replace this person? Just screaming, you want this manager out because this isn't working. There's got to be...
It's almost like a kid throwing their toys out.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I've never really called for a manager's head per se, even when things like it's gotten ugly under Jose, under Conte, but I've always been like, no, they have a vision, we just aren't helping their vision. Now, why is that not happening? And I try and understand it from almost that aspect of how can we best help this manager succeed, and what's the best way to make him succeed. But I feel like, as you say, sometimes people just feel like, all right, it's not working, all right, let me get out of here. It's like sometimes in relationships. Sometimes people are just like, hey, you know what, I'm over this. Block this person, I'm out.
very rarely in the modern era does a manager get enough time for you to say, okay, we've seen his vision through and it's not really working. There's not enough, when it doesn't look like it's constantly on the up. You know, in life, in your career, there's ups and downs. If something's not constantly on the up with any manager, they're like, as soon as there's a little dip, we want to get rid.
I think Arteta's the only one who literally had like 2 years of crap. And I'm not saying there wasn't small improvements even behind the scenes and that kind of stuff.
But even then, as fans, we were like, we can see it, and our rival fans were like, we don't see nothing. Like, what are you, man?
Not all the fans. Not all the fans. There was a lot of fans calling for Arteta out. Not getting twisted.
In the chat, by the way, just predicting whether Burnley win or United win. Get involved in that. Let us know. At the moment, Burnley landslide.
That's just one vote from Fuad. That's why.
Just going back to what you said as well earlier about Ten Hag and his quotes. Dwayne Rogers says Eric Ten Hag is Dutch, and if you have ever spoken to one or seen them in interviews, they are upfront and can seem cold, and that is very much a true thing. I think you listen to any Van der Vaart.
I didn't want to say it and offend DR Sports' Dutch contingent.
Careful there, careful.
But so you go back to that point. You're very right. Like in the modern era, the time that, and I always said Arteta was fortunate, and Arsenal are fortunate that the board didn't get rid of Arteta when probably any other club in the top six, on the back of 8th and 5th, especially in the way that you finished 5th. He wouldn't have. There's no way he would have survived that Man United finishing 8th and 5th. Again, it was the right decision, clearly. And he's fortunate that they backed him in a way that most other big six clubs. Chelsea.
And let's be honest, when things are bad, like I know now it's good. Now it's cool to say Arteta's my guy, my gaffer. 99.9% of you were not feeling like that. And it's okay. We all get it wrong. I remember when Ange first came in, I was like, who? Who? And now, I'm loving Big Ange instead. Listen, it's okay. But
I just wanted to show that you could sing,
as you say, sometimes it just feels like Arsenal fans have just forgotten that period of their lives. Like they've deleted all their Arteta out tweets. So it's
the thing is, it's trendy.
That period never happened.
It's trendy to be.
It's
these
okay,
days.
football fans, when new information comes to light, when situations change, your opinions can change as well.
But it's trendy it's halftime officially in the Luton game and in the Crystal Palace game. But it's not yet in the Man City game. I was just gone half-time in the Man City game as well, but it's trendy now to kind of pretend to be a specialist, to pretend that you know everything and you're real. Oh, look, I've got the stats, and that's not a shout out AGT with the stats and that. Do you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Well. Just like all of that kind of stuff, and I do think that we were quite lucky that what happened with Arteta was that I think they interviewed him before. Emery,
yes.
He came with a set list of ideas and a strict kind of code of conduct and different things like that, and
it just seemed too.
And they said, "Nah, we're not on that. We're gonna go with this guy. This guy's, And then it's not. I actually work in recruitment as my day job, and it happens very often that they go, "Nah, he's not the guy. He wants too much stuff." and then the person they've gone with hasn't worked. They've come back and gone, is that guy still available? Yeah. So then now,
I've had situations like that. Trust me.
When they go back to Arteta now, he's got all the cards. Do you know what I mean? And so he's very well. There's lots of stuff we don't see in football. Whenever we watch documentaries about our clubs, you're always surprised who the leaders are, who's the big talker, whatever. And he's very, very well thought of behind the scenes. Everybody that's ever played with him and knows him, Pochettino and everything. He was captain. I didn't realize he was 2 times Player of the Year. We don't really think of him being very successful at Everton. For Everton. He was 2 times Player of the Year for Everton.
He was clutch for Everton. The Cahill Osman era. He was the string puller. Yeah, he was like the tech man in the middle. He's like, you man do the graft and the heading and all that. I'll be the string puller and the set piece day. Bro, I was playing. Those are the FPL days. Arteta was the cheapie that you get in. You know he's going to get you easy 5 million. Yeah, quick
so that's
million.
it. So he's very well thought of in the football world, and so now they had to stick by him. Do you know what I mean? And I think we've seen. For me, we've seen it at United chopping and changing. It doesn't necessarily work.
What I personally like about that situation is not that it's benefited you lot more per se, but I feel like it's created
a culture
of let's stick with our managers no matter what, because for almost I felt like 15 years since maybe 2004, the Abramovich era kind of began. It's almost been like chop and change. If it ain't working, we need a new man. And the whole term new manager bounce got created. And it's always annoyed me because I'm like, bro, if there's such a thing as a new manager bounce, that tells me these players are cowards. Because they were down in tools then, and all of a sudden now they want to pick them up. So now I'm looking at these players funny. And I've seen that too many times at Tottenham itself. So I'm like,
at Chelsea we see it so many times.
Stick with some managers, and that's why I've always been like, I never turn on managers. I want to see your vision through. And now I feel like you lot are one of the few clubs that have been like, you know what? We see the vision. And I'll be honest with you, when I watched your All or Nothing, was when even I was like, you know what?
It might be the truth.
I hear it. Because even like the things he was saying weren't like, we assume, he's a tactical and doing all these. Nah, passion, desire, mentality. I'm like,
where's the light bulb? Production, where's the light bulb?
It's like just, but it was like just back to basics. It was simplifying everything. It was like talking to the players like they're humans. And I was like, my God, I thought this was like X'd out of the game completely. So when I saw it, I was like, yo,
he's quite old school. He's a throwback.
I like this guy, even though he's the opposite. I hear it.
Well, he grew up under David Moyes, isn't it?
100%. Real men. A real men era. Do you know what I mean? But honestly, I just feel like now that's been the positive feedback. And that's why when United fans are now struggling a little bit, there's a massive contingent where they're like, we saw them man get 3 years. We want our 3 years. People talk about, if Ange loses this weekend, brother. What? We've only been here 4 weeks. Hey, give us time. I want 4 years into the program. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think the good thing is with Ten Hag and with Arteta as well, I think where these managers do definitely get given a bit of leeway is if you are playing that positive attacking football. Now, where Ten Hag it's getting tricky for him is United fans are not seeing that. And I think with Conte, you saw that. With Jose, you saw that. When managers are not playing that quote-unquote attractive brand of football, fans'
people have more faith
thin.
When they see attractive football fans, because a lot of us are simple. Us as a global species, a lot of us are simpletons, and we don't know as much about football as we like to think that we do. So we think if this is attractive football and it looks good, it must come good at some point. Surely it's going to click because it looks so good. And that may not be the truth. That may not actually be the truth at all. But I think one of the things Arteta's not bought in, but that new culture is that there's like different metrics. Before the metric was just, are you winning? Are you losing? You're losing games, you're done. But actually we're going, now people are looking at Luton and going, Luton haven't won a game. But if you look at their stats, they're not doing too badly actually. There's different metrics.
Turned us into Statman,
There's new metrics that you can go in and present.
Listen, just quickly.
Arsenal's bringing this tilt. The tilt.
The field tilt. Check out me and James's tactical insight on AFTV, man. The field 72% field tilt.
Make sure you guys go check that out. But it is half-time in the 3 o'clock kickoffs game. It is still 0-0 at Palace Fulham. Still 0-0 Luton versus Wolves. But Wolves, of course, being down to 10 men. Can Luton snatch this in the second half? And Man City leading 2-0 at home versus Nottingham Forest. Phil Foden and Haaland giving them the lead there. Bayern Munich, 67 minutes into their second half, 5-0 up now at this point. Harry Kane getting another one, and he just seems like he's loving life in Germany. Oktoberfest around the corner. I know what he's going to be up to. Dortmund have taken the lead in their game versus Wolfsburg as well, and AC Milan are still leading 1-0 in their game well. Let me read out some of the chats as well and see you guys getting involved. Over 2,000 of you throughout this stream as well. Big up yourselves, man. Make sure you're smashing the likes. I see we're only up to 350. Let's see if we can get that to 1,000 by the end of the stream, can we? Come on, guys. Teamwork makes the dream work. We bring you content, you bring us likes. Help us help you, help me help us. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Montana Prime says Bruno is the main problem, has a terrible body language and the audacity to raise his voice on others. I do hear this to an extent. He is someone who I see...
He's the captain. What do you mean raise his voice on others?
But is it a thing where in some games, in certain big games especially, I ask, versus top six sides, versus Bayern Munich, you're not seeing that kind of big character in his performances? But then at the same... And I'll be honest with you, it's similar in a workplace environment. If you've got the guy when it's crunch time and it's time to work and he's shucking and jiving and doing all other things, but then when it comes to team meeting time, he's got the most to say, you're gonna look at him like, hey, big man, can you relax? I know you're the supervisor, but you ain't doing nothing here.
But you know what I'd argue, and why he still has the authority over most of those players, because where are they in those big games?
They're not.
Yeah,
but as the leader, is it not down to you to almost set that example and set the tone? Sometimes what I feel like is, I understand being frustrated with your teammates. I understand even being angry with your teammates, but I feel like there's a way to go about it. Especially, let's say, like, I know I've had a stinker today, but I know now I'm not going to dig out my teammates in a way that's going to make them feel awful. I'm going to make it be like, you know what? We all had a stinker. We all have to take accountability.
But ain't that what you done with Onana? But ain't that what you done with
when
Onana?
you're doing all of this,
we're talking about on the pitch, though.
Here is body language.
On the pitch,
is the key thing I'm focusing on, and I noticed that a lot with Bruno. And I'm like, I hate. And we've all played with players like that as well that are like overly emotional. You're just like, bro, stop throwing a strop. Like
it comes down to is he?
Attitude, I never feel like.
Is he making it better or worse?
No one sees their captain flinging their arms in the air and thinks, you know what, I'm gonna get it together. But that's gonna make me perform. I just think you just look like a petulant child.
And that's fine. And people you can be, as long as people are consistent with it, because people did say the same thing about Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo was very much like, and I'm not even just talking about when he came back to Man United. Across his career, very petulant. But he was turning up in big games and he was winning. So for me, it's not about whether he turns up or not. It's about whether you, because people were still criticizing Ronaldo, and this is what's different between Ronaldo and Messi and that. Yeah, some people are petulant. Some people
was winning though.
Yeah, but people are still criticizing him. So I'm saying, as long as people are consistent and they're talking about, all right, I don't like this kind of behavior, fair enough. But for me, I look at that as it's a side part. It's about what you do, what you perform. So I judge Bruno on his performance or lack thereof on in that game, rather than those other things. Because for me, people express themselves in different ways. Messi is very introvert. Ronaldo's very expressive. Yeah. But both of them turned up. So why am I going to criticize something that for me is an intangible? Because why should Ronaldo throwing his arms up stop you from performing? I don't think that these men are professionals.
Bro, I think it's human behavior. Like, I'm sorry, but you see someone acting petulant towards you, it's going to demoralize you, bro. If I see you right now as you're talking there into that mic, and I just go, you're going to be like, what the hell am I here for?
And does that now excuse your performance on the mic?
No, it doesn't. But if you're now demotivated and you're now just like, all right, I'm just going to wrap up my point, and I've just killed the show, the content, whatever. And that's what I feel like Bruno does sometimes. And I'm like, for me, my thing is, I understand that petulance when it's deserved, but I just feel like you see it so often and too often. And I look around the Premier League and I'm like, what other captain do you really see like that? That's like that.
It's like someone complaining that you're making mistakes when they're also making mistakes. But then you can't. The energy is not the same.
But I'll be honest with you, and I hate that you use the Cristiano Ronaldo as an example, because I truly feel like Ronaldo is an outlier. I never feel like
him and Messi both.
I never feel like the outlier should be the standard, if you like. And I'm sorry, but if you are going to be acting like the anomaly, you better do some anomaly shit.
But for me,
like the days of Bruno being cash money and saving United was 18 months ago.
But people, the point I'm making is people are going to have a problem where they have a problem, because when Bruno was doing X, Y, Z, they still had a problem. So really and truly, the issue is not that he's doing that and not performing. The issue is that he's not performing for me, because for me, when he was doing all that, people saw the issue, but he was winning games for us. So is it a big issue or is it not an issue? Is the issue that he's not winning games, or is the issue that
I just think it's a bad reflection, especially, and you see it highlighted more when things are going bad. But I don't think it looks good even when things are going good. I remember even another example, but that Liverpool game last year, when people were saying, "Oh, Bruno wants to be subbed off," or
which wasn't true.
Which wasn't true. Prime example. But how does that whole confusion happen? Because of his arms up and all his theatrics and antics. And and I'm not saying, I want these players to be robots and show some emotion. I love it, but let it be, sensible. Let it be kind of from a valid standpoint. I feel like with Bruno, sometimes it's a little bit OTT and like prima donna-esque, if you like.
I look at it.
Let me just read out some chats quickly as well. Fuad talking like a Dutchman, blunt as AF, if you like. William Olsen says Fuad is Dutch with a British accent. What? Yes, I was born in Holland. Came over here when I was 7. Been living in London, thugging ever since. Nathan Steinegger sends a super chat. Says, do you ever rest, Fuad? You are everywhere. Big up. Come on, man. No rest for the wicked, and I am the wickedest. Let me read out some more. I've got Jim Fox here. Just curious about... oh, no, I won't be reading out that one, actually. Something you're just like, let me start reading that one out.
In the chat.
The poll has actually closed for the prediction for the United-Burnley game. Do you want to take a guess at the percentages?
I think it's 60% Burnley.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Lower. 40%. 40% Burnley win, 32% United win, 26% draw.
Okay, so most of it think Man United dropping points.
Yeah, it's looking rough out there.
I was going to say on the Bruno thing, one of the things I like about what Arsenal's been doing since we brought in Arteta, and it's something that we don't really see a lot of in football, because obviously it's a results business. That's what most people care about. I understand that, but Arteta does a lot of looking at like the profile of the person and the character and how that's going to affect the dressing room. So he might sign a player that's an 8 out of 10 in terms of the actual football side of the role, but is also going to help the team environment, as opposed to somebody who is a 10 out of 10, can absolutely do it, but it's just going to completely ruin the dressing room. And I do like to see that, because I think it stops footballers being these I can do whatever I want type of people.
I feel like that's kind of how Pep runs his
exactly, yeah.
Because even like I look at this summer, and we can drag Man City into this actually. I just feel like the way Pep constantly evolves his teams, it's like, I don't want no prima donnas. I want someone who's going to almost follow my program. And even you could say like an example of that is like a Jack Grealish, who you would look at Villa, maybe prima donna-esque star player there, does a little hair flicks or whatever, but comes in and it's like, no, you got to follow a certain program. You look at the signings they've made this summer, quality players, but none of them are like, maybe Doku, you could say, is a little bit of that kind of bracket, but they're all going to come in and follow Pep's program.
And when Jack was out on the lash and Pep was laughing in the media and going, listen, I wasn't invited, why can't I come out for a drink of the book? Yeah. That he goes back to Jack privately and says, actually, listen,
I've defended you in public.
And now he's got Doku.
Doku
comes in and scores a goal straight away. Jack's a very good player, but not put up big numbers, and he'll be able to then go to Jack Grealish again and say, listen, I bought this guy and he's not out on the lash, and look at the numbers he's putting up. You could be that person if that's what you want to be. It's that sort of, I'm handing the reins to you. I've given you all the tools to have it, but it's for you to go and do it, and that style of management. But yeah, on the Bruno thing, I do think that there is, again, a bit of a clash maybe of some of the characters, because I think there were certain characters where if he did gesticulated and threw his arms up, they wouldn't be affected, but maybe they're not the right characters for him to be around, and that's something that's to be looked at.
When he came in, we were down horrendous. We went down we were down horrendous. And in that, say, 18-month period, Man United, forget the rivals are going to pick anything at any point, so I don't really focus too much on that all the time. But Man United, there's no Man United fans who will complain about that, because we needed someone who was going to shout at those players, who was going to, run, maybe where it wasn't tactically smart to run, but to show that energy.
Yeah.
Bruno ain't changed. we've changed. Our perception on Bruno
I
has changed.
don't buy that.
Bruno hasn't changed.
Bruno hasn't changed, but Bruno's definitely gone into more of what you lot have allowed him to be. I feel like he was a captain and the main guy at Sporting. What he is at United, he kind of was at Sporting. Even at Udinese beforehand, you could say. But since he's come in, I think because you guys were at that low point, he came in and almost for like 18
He's the Ronaldo
months,
of that dressing room.
I was the saviour. Then big bro Ronaldo came in. Cool. I'll play Robin to his Batman. But guess what? Now he's gone. Now I've got the armband. I'm Superman again. So for me, I feel like you guys have almost handed the keys to Bruno.
No, but I don't think it's
personally.
So you think his character on the pitch has changed?
No, I'm not saying it's changed. I'm saying it's enhanced on what he was already. And it's like, they say you get given money, it just highlights more of what you get given power. It highlights more of what you are. And I just feel like now it's being shown. And the problem is now we've got a track record of almost like 3.5 years of watching Bruno, where it's like, all right, we've seen you time and time again in big games. We've seen you time and time again in tough moments. Is it all the time you're just going to keep gesticulating? And that's the reason why I asked it, because I've seen it a few times in the chat and I'm like, yo, that's actually one thing. Yeah. I'm a passion guy. I love it. And I love some emotion. But with his one, I just feel like it's emotionally channeled incorrectly.
That's fine.
We're underway in the second half, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, the second half has just kicked off in some of the games as well.
But
all of them,
obviously,
actually.
There's a perfect medium in between.
Just quickly though, Andrew Ellis does say Neeks is the Man United tie. Big up yourselves in the chat as well. Make sure you're sticking around for the second half as well. We'll keep you in touch with all the 3 o'clock kickoffs, some of the other games around as well. I see the likes have gone up as well to nearly 469 we're on at the moment. Can we get that over 500? Please play your part today and throw a like in the video.
I was gonna say, for me, I think results dictate people's feelings towards the players, because as I said, when Bruno was getting the results, and I don't think his behaviour has changed, people, Man United fans specifically, weren't complaining. If results aren't there, then people find something. So Bruno gesticulating the way he does becomes a problem.
Hold on.
Rashford not doing that.
Wow. I think a bit of breaking news might have just come in. A potential red card in the Man City game.
Ooh.
For who?
Rodri.
Yes!
I cannot believe it.
Bro, you know how our fans feel about Rodri. Oh my God. I don't know what he did, but he's guilty. He's guilty.
It must be a straight red as well, because he didn't even have...
That is a big loss.
Someone said he didn't even touch him, so I guess they might...
And another bit of breaking news has just come in for me as well. There are strong rumours apparently that Lisandro Martinez might be out of tonight's game with an injury as well. What do you make of that? Because you've already suffering at the back in defence.
Maguire and Lindelof again, isn't it?
Wow. Move 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Yeah, Rodri sent off for violent conduct.
I was going to say, it looks like it's going to be violent conduct. He's grabbed, he's been pushing and shoving with Morgan Gibbs-White. I'm not sure how it started, and I think he's grabbed him by around the throat, which obviously is a big no-no. And it's checked by VAR and he's off.
It's been checked, yeah? Okay, yeah. If you grab someone by the throat, even if...
And that's 2 red cards today. One for Bellegarde in the Luton Wolves game, and another one for Man City there. Does that change the result in the second half for Forest? Does that give them a bit of hope? I will need maybe now getting a bit more space to play.
Two-time European champions. The thing is, I'm thrilled about that, because I hate Rodri. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, he's too good and he loves scoring against us. And he scored a goal against us that was illegitimate, and we should have come top 4. But anyway, the point is, he is one of those people that likes to rattle people.
Goal at
boom.
10 men.
Who's it gone to?
The 10 men of Wolves. Pedro Neto.
Get the boy to the carpet. I told people I wanted this guy as backup for Saka, because I knew Pepe was going, and they're like, no, he's not as good as you think he is, Nick. He's not that good. Like, he blows hot and cold. I'm like, bro, get this guy to the carpet, please. Obviously, it's only against Luton, so maybe not Pedro Neto.
Luton got to turn this around. If I'm correct, that's Wolves' first shot in the match, not just on target, just their first shot, full stop.
Yeah. First shot in the game, second half. I think they had an XG of 0.1. So it tells you where their kind of game has been today. But 10 men Wolves taking the lead against Luton Town.
The second half has already started heating up more than the first half straight away. But like with Rodri, I was just going to say, he's real quick. He is interesting. Like, he's getting rattled and frustrated, but he's normally the person that kind of is a bit of a wind-up merchant and normally typically keeps his cool. So it's really interesting. I'm curious to see what's happened there to make him lose his head so quickly and start grabbing people by the throat in the first minute of the second half. He's very out of character.
Crazy from Rodri there, and that's the second red card of the day. Hopefully the goals and the action keeps coming along. Make sure you guys are getting involved in the chat as well. I see a lot of people enjoying this Rodri red card. I'm guessing those are a few Arsenal fans. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, he's missing the Emirates.
I was just checking. I was checking the fixtures to see if he's missing our game.
3 games he could be suspended for, which means Arsenal fans, you may not have to face the best midfielder in the league at the moment.
Yeah, he would be out. Yeah, for Newcastle EFL
Calvin
Cup.
Phillips, is that someone who worries you? Or?
No.
No, that's rude.
Who's their next 3 games?
Donny needs next 3 games would be away to Newcastle for EFL Cup.
Yeah.
Away to Wolves and away to Arsenal.
Ooh, I didn't realise Arsenal was in that. Gee, that's why.
Hey, what's that? Can we do a super red card? Is there such a thing as a 6-game ban? Like, what's the? Do you know what I mean?
That's got to be Joey Barton style.
Yeah, I'm hearing. I mean, like, can we not rush Morgan Gibbs White to hospital or something, man? Get this Rodri guy out of here, man.
AJ Black sends a super chat. He says he deserves it. He always gets away with so.
He does. Who said that?
AJ Black.
AJ Black, big up yourself, man. 100%. This is somebody that's AJ Black's locked in and in tune.
I feel like that's part of the beauty of the dark arts and the truly best ones. I remember like Fernandinho was like that.
That's what he's just said.
I just feel like those are my favourite types of players where what you do is you tuck your shirt in. You look like a real good professional. You go and speak to the referee.
We're really your piece of shit.
Oh, you're the one with 2 kids, aren't you?
Yeah.
How is your little one? Has she started secondary school? Oh, fantastic. And in 2 minutes in, you go and lay a crunching tackle on something. You just say, my bad, ref.
I also think
respect.
It's sometimes
And that's how
harder
you get
to
away with
spot.
crime,
It's sometimes harder to spot it in the team that plays as attractive football as City because you think it's a narrative thing, isn't it? It's like, you know,
Oh, that was just a mistake.
no, they're not that type of team,
No,
and he's not that
exactly.
type of player,
Exactly.
so it can't be. Do you know what I mean?
Are you doing a Joyce v. Zhang stream tonight?
I don't think I am. I think we might be streaming Canelo next Saturday. But,
Okay.
but yeah. Well, there's much more boxing content to be coming as well, so definitely keep it locked.
Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, turn your notifications on. We have all the good stuff coming for you. That's boxing, that's F1, on track GP, we got you covered there as well. The football, of course, we got you covered here. FCM tomorrow as well. Sunday nights will never be the same again.
Box office show, man.
Trust me. Yes. You mean Fuad Kadani violent conduct? Hey, listen, man. You ever seen me on a football pitch? You know what I'm capable of, man.
Is Haaland coming?
It's not dark arts, it's corruption, says Alex AV.
It's Jeremy Doku that's come
each
off.
to their own, man. Each to their own.
Yeah, so in response to
Doku.
that, Calvin Phillips has come on, and Jeremy Doku has made way. And Morgan Gibbs White was also shown a yellow card in that fracas that happened. So, like I said, I'm going to go back and take a look and see exactly what happened that made Rodri lose his cool. But obviously, grabbing people around the throat is not acceptable, and he's off. But Morgan Gibbs White did also get a yellow card in that exchange.
Yeah.
Apparently, he went down on some delayed reaction. He probably realised, oh, wait, I can get Rodri. Let me go down. 2 hands around the neck. Yeah, you can't do that.
4-0 I'm seeing in League One today. Reading in League One is such a strange one. Playing Blackpool today with Jordan Rhodes with a hat-trick.
That's the ex-Blackburn.
Yes, ex-Blackburn legend.
Yeah,
Scored
he
a
was supposed to
hat-trick
be
today.
the next best thing, isn't it?
Yeah, from the Championship. 4-0 Blackpool are beating Reading.
And Bayern are 6-0 up.
Bayern are 6-0 up.
Your guy.
Harry Kane 2 goals, 2 assists today. And guess who else has scored today?
Your guy.
Troy Deeney for scoring for Forest Green, making that 2-1 against Notts County in League 2.
Just
Troy
had a look
Deeney
at
going
that.
down the levels and talking about that recently as well, saying how, he loves the game of football.
Yeah,
That's the reason why he's not retired. He says,
Well, he made his way up through non-league, didn't he? So he's not like, oh, I'm not looking. He's spent a large amount of his career playing football, not for millions and millions of pounds. That's actually a very narrow part of his life. That's what everyone knows him for. But that's a small window of his life, and so obviously he just wants to keep playing. I've had a look at that red card, and Neeks mentioned Casemiro. Very, very similar. Rodri's holding the ball off.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Rodri's holding the ball at the corner flag. Morgan Gibbs-White's aggressively trying to get the ball, and Rodri's doing the old Sterling bum out routine. And he just feels that Morgan Gibbs-White's getting a little bit too aggressive, so he turns around and pushes. They both push each other, and he literally just touches his throat for a split second, and then immediately realizes what he's done and kind of lets go. But that was enough for the referee to go, no, you're gone.
As soon as you put your arms on someone, you're in huge trouble, man. And the violent conducts, they very rarely get turned over.
Well, Casemiro was just fixing Will Hughes' shirt
last
year and got the red card. He was like, your collar, just fix your collar.
MCFC Solo sends a super chat, says unnecessary from Rodri, not there for the Arsenal game now. I know you guys are disappointed with that.
And the
Premier, how they line up now differently.
Probably the same with Calvin Phillips.
Kovacic maybe? Yeah, do they go Nunes and Kovacic? Do you know what? Let's take the game to them.
Foden in the 10?
No, I was going to say more. If they play Phillips maybe against Newcastle and he performs well and maybe the next Premier League game, but as it stands right now, I'm thinking Nunes and Kovacic.
Yeah.
I don't know about Phillips. What's he done since he's joined City? He ain't done anything.
He was overweight for like a year of that time.
And he didn't
put like Sancho. He
didn't put any statements on Twitter and pin it to his page.
Why are you telling me? Tell Jaden. That's your question.
Another suggestion. Adnate Almas as well says Stones can play in that role. So do you maybe shift one of the centre backs? Because today you've got Akanji, Diaz, and Vardy at left back. Stones, obviously, I don't know if he's back fit for that game. It's in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah,
so it should be potentially
time.
back fit. So do you maybe just slide Stones into there? And that is a like for like.
It depends how much respect they have for Arsenal. Because really, if it's somebody
you
that
feel like that's disrespect.
Because if you have somebody, Stones is an outstanding player, but you've got someone who's an actual specialist at playing that role, and you're going to bring someone in who's that's his secondary or tertiary position.
Who's better, him or Phillips? Which is more disrespectful?
Listen. I just think they should play Calvin Phillips.
You want them to play Calvin Phillips?
Listen, Calvin Phillips' physicality could cause Ødegaard big problems. Wink, wink.
I'm just seeing replays of the Rodri red card as well now. I'm sorry, but he's got like the
but if he's
what's it? Kane choke slams it, double arms around.
Have a look at how quick it is.
Casemiro's one was a little bit more about to the throat. This is like a.
But have a look at how quickly he removes his hands. Like he touches him.
He gives him the push at first, and then he just.
He immediately realises that.
But it's almost like that little chop action. You almost feel like it's literally a replica of the Casemiro Will Hughes.
He kind of pushed him in the throat.
We always say though.
We
always say though. Referees aren't consistent. Is that consistency there?
It is consistent.
Can the referees get some credit there?
Yeah, listen,
for sure. If that was Granit Xhaka, he'd have been kicked out the league.
So you lot kicked him out first.
I was gonna say like he didn't need that.
He had a standing ovation, and listen, he's leading Leverkusen to big things.
Was that a standing ovation? I thought you lot were cussing it. Oh, sorry, I was thinking about the part. You wrote that one out of history as well, innit? When he threw down the arm.
Yeah.
Other fans like to rewrite history, you know.
Man's never put out false statements and beefed the manager, innit? That's all I know.
Wow. Bayern Munich on an absolute rampage. We are talking 7-0. Harry Kane hat-trick.
3 goals to Euro. 3 goals to assist.
Yeah, boy. That Liga's barbecue chicken. Easy work for that boy, man. 89 minutes in that game, nearly finished. Weifel Bochum going home to eat their schnitzel and cry into their beers tonight, man. It's not an easy day for them.
Speaking of English legendary strikers, Charlie Austin again scores a penalty for Swindon.
Hey, it almost feels like every single week we do the Saturday football show, he says, yo, guys, remember me?
He bangs every single week.
We got 2 beats for the super chat as well. But he says, this week's schedule is awful. No good games today. Mate, you got Man City 2-0 up. Red card. You got Wolves 10-man down against Luton, leading 1-0 with their first shot of the game.
Yeah, both teams that are winning currently have 10 men.
We got some United embarrassment for you later, we hope. 8 o'clock. We got North London derby tomorrow. Come on, there's so much happening. You got Harry Kane hat-tricks happening. Come on, brother. Turn your TV on. Where are you? You must be stuck underground not watching any of this. Big up everyone in the chat as well. We are over the 500 mark on the likes. We are up to 561. Can we get that to 1,000 before the end of the stream? Appreciate everyone. There's over 2,000 of you in the chat here. Big up everyone getting involved.
Troy Deeney again at the double.
Yeah, Troy Deeney again. Yeah, 2-2. Not Troy.
Oh wow!
for Forest
Troy
Green.
Deeney grabbing the equaliser, turning into the hero in League 2 today. Forest Green 2-2 against Notts County, who in that league should be really cleaning up, but at home today, drawing 2-2 with Forest Green. Can Troy Deeney make that a hat trick?
And how many points are Luton going to get this season? Because I've spoken to a lot of their fans before they even came up, and they pretty much were like, "We're here for the ride, man. You know, we're not expecting to stay up. We're having a good time. We made it." That was, yeah. They don't really. A lot of their fans I've spoken to don't even really expect to stay up.
Well, Derby got 1 win and 11 points in 2007-8.
Was it 11 or 16?
I've said
I'm sure it was 11.
I'm
One
expecting
win and
both.
8 draws.
I'm expecting both Sheffield and Luton personally to give that Derby team a close run for their money, because I think Sheffield's financial situation just coming up this season, the way they haven't really been able to invest in their squad. I think they've hedged their bets on, is it Cameron Archer from Villa's Academy? I'm like, this is, if there's not signs of huge trouble, there is the biggest one.
To be fair, Cameron Archer had a very good season last season in the
Listen,
Championship.
I'm not saying he's not good or potentially
But the Premier League
but
is
to have that pressure where your first big season in the Premier League is, hey, save us from relegation.
Yeah. It's like signing Timu Pukki or
I remember the last time Sheffield did that.
Odion Igalo to save
The last time Sheffield were up here, they did that with Ryan Brewster. Where is he now?
Champions League winner.
Oh, come on. What are we doing?
Nasty work. That is nasty work from you there. But honestly, with them, it's just, I think the quality gap is just a little bit too much.
Yeah, they came up early. Oh,
I don't know.
Serious question though. Obviously, Derby got 1 point. So
11.
one win.
Yeah.
Are Luton going to get less than 1 win?
I'm predicting their first win to come in March. Like, I looked at their fixture list and I was like, there ain't no easy fixtures for Luton at all. At home right now to Wolves, 10 men, you're losing 1-0. I'm sorry.
You're actually looking at it
Don't cry, don't beg.
Where is that win coming from? It's going to have to be Sheffield United at home. Because that's the only team that's like on their level.
I actually think that might be the one in March, because I remember looking at their fixture list and just being like, I don't know who they're going to beat.
Just for the stats?
Nothing fixtures.
I've got nothing against Luton, the town, the club, the University of Bedford. I got nothing against it. Good times. I had good times at Bedford when I went there for parties and that, ACS and that. But for the stats,
February they play Sheffield.
I love them to have 0 wins. Just for the stats. Just so we've got one team in the Premier League history that never won a game.
Well, just a little fact check there on Derby's 11 points. Their one win, as in 2007 2008. It came early. It's on the 17th. It's actually at Newcastle. Well, at home against Newcastle United. It was on the 17th of September. So that team, by this point in the season, had actually already had a win. And they then
didn't win for the rest of the season.
They then went on to have, I think, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 draws after that, and everything else was a loss.
We nearly drew them, Man United. We went there, Pride Park. I think it was late in the season.
Yeah, we beat them 1-0.
Ronaldo scored like 78 minutes.
Speaking of Luton have a penalty potentially in their game. Could we see an equaliser here?
This is what they need. They need to start diving. They might as well take the yellow card.
Listen, you need to do every single dark art and tactic you can get a hold of. Against 10 men?
Yeah,
let's see.
tough.
Alvarez has been subbed off. I just brought him into my FPL. I knew it was going to happen. The moment I bring him in.
The Luton pen, I think, is at VAR at the moment. Oh, no, it's been given as a penalty, I think.
Okay. So who's going to step up, take it? Could it be Carlton Morris? I think he stepped up, take one the other week, was it, and scored.
I think they've scored it as Middlesbrough take the lead against Southampton.
Boom! And there you have it. 1-1. Luton have equalised.
Well, this is it. Luton have to win this game. If Luton don't win this game, they're going down.
Carlton Morris.
Even if Luton win this game, they're still going down. But
still 25 minutes to go in that game, so we will see if Luton can turn that around and take the 3 points, get their first win of the season at home. Because Kenilworth Road, will be an important place for them this year.
Must be jumping right now.
Yeah, literally.
Must be jumping.
Yeah, definitely.
Another Premier League legend down in the Championship, Jamie Vardy, scored a pen. What a guy.
Leicester taking the lead there, 1-0 against Bristol City.
So now that Harry Kane's left the Premier League, is Vardy a bigger Premier League legend?
Shut up.
No, it's a serious question.
Blood, I'm the host of the show. We ain't even answering that.
That's a legitimate question.
What?
Premier
You want to
League
fight?
winner, Longest run of consecutive goals.
Fresh. Let me count. Say that again, Neeks.
Golden boot.
You what, mate? How many golden boots does Harry Kane have?
Too many to not win a Premier League.
Yeah.
Listen. Teams. The team he played in, unfortunately, was not good enough to win one. But Vardy, unfortunately, wasn't a team that was good enough to win one.
I don't think it was good enough. Vardy was the one. Vardy was good enough.
What, Mahrez?
Vardy.
Kante?
If Vardy played for Spurs that year,
don't do that. Don't do that. He would have been holding bench.
No, they swapped. Put Kane in Leicester, like he was. Remember, Kane went to Leicester, flopped.
That's the good question. Can Harry Kane do it at Leicester? That's the question.
No, he can't.
Couldn't do it.
He ain't got Sane around him. He ain't got triple Moting around him. Yeah.
Well, the boy, he's currently.
You lot are this. I hope the clips are clipping this up right here. This is some of the nastiest work I've ever seen. What Harry Kane can't do at Leicester?
He went to Leicester and he didn't do it.
As a young.
Oh, he went to Leicester and didn't do it.
No.
We do with facts on this show.
In 16-17, you said that year they won the league.
We do with facts.
You are nasty. You know that 2017 year was his best year calendar. He beat Ronaldo and Messi that year. Talk to the kid nice, man. That guy's got a hat trick today. You lot are disrespecting.
He is on SofaScore.
Your country's greatest striker of all time. Your league's best striker of all time.
That would be Michelangelo.
Michelangelo. Listen, it's your British passport, yeah?
He's currently sitting on a 9.8 on SofaScore, to be fair, Harry Kane.
Is that it?
No.
Didn't get 10?
Chance. Listen, what does SofaScore know anyway? Watch football with your eyes, ladies and gentlemen, not with your eyes. Garbo Staunton sends in a super chat. He says, sorry, Fuad. Harry Kane is the bigger Premier League legend. I don't care about Vardy's FA Cup, Premier League or Golden Boot. His couple of golden boots matter. That is not what the super chat said, but that's how I remixed it. No, the super chat actually said, sorry, Fuad. Vardy is the bigger Premier League legend. FA Cup, Premier League, Golden Boot beats a couple of golden boots. You see, now it all measures on how you judge greatness, in my opinion. Now, are you lot judging your greatness as basically, as long as you have a Premier League title,
go on.
We don't care.
No. I'm judging about
does
won.
Does your impact matter? Does how you play matter? Does your contribution matter?
For me,
you're turning up in big games and things like this. Like, there's so many factors.
Luckily for me, I have Thierry Henry, so he does all of those and ticks all of those boxes.
I was waiting for that cheap shot, and now
FA Cup
finals.
Henry has never scored in a final.
He's played great in FA Cup finals and helped and contributed to us.
The one that when you beat us, he wasn't even playing.
He helped us get there.
Right.
It's part of it.
Right.
Champions League
final with Arsenal.
Missed the host of chances.
Yeah.
That's corruption. Right. We know about the corruption.
Right. I love Henry as well. I didn't want to
we know about the corruption.
We know about the corruption.
We're playing dirty. We're going to play dirty.
He's a Champions League winner.
Unlike Wayne
He's a World Cup winner.
He didn't score in the final either.
They don't have to score in the final. They don't have to score in the final. He got them there.
Will Tour scored in the Euros.
He got them there.
Trezeguet scored in the Euros.
Talk your shit on that bit because
he got them there.
Yeah, talk your shit. Semi-finals.
Man said Will Tour scored in the final. He plays Arsenal player.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I love him too. Sylvain Will Tour, love him as well.
Wayne Rooney on the other hand, Champions League
Garbo is adamant. He sent another super chat. He says, also, Vardy's story to glory. I like what you did there. Story to glory and performances warranted. Listen, if you think Jamie Vardy, in your world or opinion, is a greater striker,
great Premier League legend, don't mess up.
Whatever.
Two different things.
Great Premier League legend. Okay, so
Harry Kane is the best striker in the world for me, and he's a greater striker than Jamie Vardy.
So being the second highest all-time scorer counts for nothing. The goals to game ratio counts for nothing. The goals against top 6 teams counts for nothing.
But he's the second.
Because he doesn't have that. So Steven Gerrard. Because I'm about to make this conversation very uncomfortable. Should we just obliterate his whole thing because he doesn't have a?
You're going from one of these next. Why are you obliterating?
No. Because when we talk about Champions League, Steven Gerrard doesn't have a Premier League medal now.
And that's why he's not Scholes or Lampard when it talks to Premier League legend.
So any time for the past 10 years when people have asked Gerrard,
they've been wrong.
That question shouldn't even happen.
Of course it can happen. I tried to happen. You said I'm the host. I'm not having a discussion.
No. Listen, let me read out one more super chat, man. Big up Orange orange soda as well, because who loves orange soda? We do over here at DR. Make sure you like the video. Good morning from the US. Let me know where you lot are actually watching from as well, because sometimes I'm curious. It's like, is it all local? Is it US? I'm also curious what time you lot are watching. It's something, do you know what I mean? But let us know in the chat. But Orange Soda says, good morning from the US. Nic, Fuad and Neeks. I'm a Man United fan, but enjoy your content and analysis on DR Sports. Wishing you all the best. We hope you have a brilliant weekend as well, big man. I don't wish you all the best for this evening.
I do.
You know, from a rivalry aspect, that's all it is. You know what I mean? I like seeing United fans suffer for content purposes. And we here, as you said, bring you great content. So we hope to bring you
I was supposed to be doing a show on my channel with my boy Lex. Yeah, I'm going to name you Lex, yeah, who's a United fan. And we're going to, obviously, Arsenal United is going to do a little roundup thing, blah, blah, blah. And since United started being so bad, he's like, I'm just not doing it. He's just refused entirely. He now exclusively does F1 on Track GP, and he just will not do football content in any way, shape,
and you don't want to have a go at Bruno for throwing his toys out the fan.
But Lex, my brother. Bruno has set the culture. He's set the culture.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
When Xhaka was getting red cards, it was Arteta that set the culture. I think we need to look at Pep Guardiola and really assess what kind of culture he's setting for his players out there assaulting people.
Hey, big up everyone as well. I'm seeing some timestamps coming here. I've got Adama watching from Minnesota, 10:31 a.m. So this is
Let's go Vikings.
Jesus in Nepal. He says it's 9:15 p.m.
Jeez.
Big up yourself as well. Andrew Green in Jamaica says it's 10:30 a.m.
Andrew Green, that's man. I'm always watching the boxing too. Shout out Andrew,
big
man.
him up, big him up. Now old Dawit says Uganda, it's 6:60 a.m. An early riser, as they say, early bird gets the worm. Big up yourself, man. EQ is in Mordor, where it is 10 a.m. Mordor. I like that one. Taranjit says it's
King's Landing.
11:30
Yeah,
in
literally.
Toronto. Zime says it's 5:30 in Sweden. I saw someone say Brixton, South London as well. Big up yourself. Don't think we don't recognize the local as well. But big up everyone in the chat as well. Make sure you like the stream. We are on 600 at the minute. See if we can get to 1,000 by the end of the stream. I'm seeing some Norway, some Stockholm. I love this. NYC, Singapore, Winnipeg. Damn. We're really global out here. I like
Winnipeg,
this. East
Canada.
Coast is strong, man. I love this. 11:32 in Trinidad, says Justin Thomas.
Big up the Caribbean.
Big up yourself.
Come on, man. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. The score lines at the moment, it's still 0-0 in the Palace-Fulham game. We did say those two teams struggling 4 goals at the minute, and it's looking like it's turning that way at the moment. 1-1 indeed, Luton Wolves. Wolves, of course, down to 10 men, but Luton pulling it back in the second half with a penalty. Can they turn it around to get their first win at home? And then, of course, you've got Man City, who are also down to 10 men after Rodri's been sent off for violent conduct with his Casemiro-like actions. But
That's what we're calling it now. He's done the Casemiro.
Sorry. Just reminder. But the Bayern Munich game has finished 7-0 with, of course, Harry Kane with a wonderful hat-trick today. And, of course, some people in the comment saying Vardy is better than this guy apparently, but hey ho.
The only thing I would say about Vardy is he did it not just in the Premier League but also in the Championship, which is a very difficult league to play in.
Okay.
And
Harry Kane,
speaking of the Championship, Arsenal youngster Charlie Patino makes it 3-0 for Swansea. That's all I wanted to say.
That was a nice segue. You know, I like that. That was good. Oh man.
Ipswich 3-3 Blackburn. What a game.
Damn, there's some goals going around. You got 5-1 in the Plymouth game as well. Norwich scoring a consolation there. Damn, you would have thought that game would have been a little bit closer. Adam Eder there getting a consolation.
Middlesbrough turned it around earlier against Southampton. Southampton still not inside the playoff position. Of course, it's early in the season, but when a team goes down for the Premier League, you think, all right, those are going to be the ones that's going to come back up. Southampton's struggling. Middlesbrough. Hopefully, Michael Carrick can get their first win in the season.
Big up. Some people still sending in their locations. I see Hargeisa. Hey, big up. That's my people, them. Live and inside. Someone said the research station in Antarctica. Big up yourself, you see. Research. This is the real research. This is where it all goes down. You know what I mean? Mombasa, Kenya. I'm seeing Pakistan. I'm seeing Zimbabwe. Seeing Nairobi, sunny Florida. Come on, you Spurs. I love that. Had to read that one out. Rudy Can't Game sends a super chat as well. He says, morning from rainy Brooklyn, New York. COYG. Or,
Let's go. Let's go.
Not sure what that means.
Come on, you Gunners. Yah, Gunners, yah. Let's go.
Yeah. Thanks for the super chat, hey. Gabriel Michaels says, much love to all the panel. Also, Fuad is a boy when it comes to hosting. Looking forward to seeing him cry on Sunday. What if we win? And what if we win?
Maybe that's what you meant. Tears of glory.
Yeah.
Tears of joy.
We will be there. FCM anyway, if you want to see all my tears, make sure you're there. Subscribe to the channel.
Is this going to be the first North London derby in how long where both teams are going to go in feeling pretty confident? Like both teams, because normally for a few years, last few years,
I'm so glad.
You guys have been
line chemistry. This is exactly where I was going to move on to.
You guys have been pretty good, and we've been struggling. And before that, for a few years, we were good. You were struggling. So the pressure is always on the team that's doing well. As opposed to, it's weird in the North London derby, they don't look at the team that's like doing badly and you have to win. It's like the team that's doing well has to stay consistent.
Maybe 4 or 5 years, we've been kind of playing this ugly win now football, if you like, just trying to figure out life post Pochettino. And then you guys have been going through your process, if you like, and in a weird way.
Don't inverted commas process. Don't.
I'm putting it in quotes because that's what you guys call it. I don't call it a process. I just see it as manager doing his job. Do you know what I mean? Like, process.
I was about like to garnish everything, innit?
Sorry, man. It's the North London derby. You know how it gets. But no, I just feel like, as you said, I think now it's two teams that are going in a good trajectory. I think I don't want to get too carried away. It's just 5 games.
He's carried away.
There's been a lot of work that's been needed to be done. Change of manager, the overhaul in the squad, the change in the playing style. And I think you've seen kind of some of those implementations happen very quickly. Now, we're nowhere near the finished or final product or whatever. But we've seen promising signs and won games that we've needed to win. You guys have now almost seen the fruits of your teething periods and all your rough periods. You've kind of gone through that and come out of the other side. So for me, you guys are way further ahead than we are. But as you said, I think this is actually both teams are coming into it high spirit. I think both clubs are loving their manager. Both clubs are loving their players. It's like it's a feel-good atmosphere at the moment. Oh my God, Troy Deeney has popped up with his hat-trick there. Sorry, I've just seen there.
But Notts County
third minute. But Notts County are still leading 4-3 in that game. It is goals galore today. So keep an eye on that one as it's coming in. But honestly, I think this is going to be the most exciting North London derby in a long time. And purely because of both teams playing very attacking football, it could go dangerously, I think, for either or. But then at the same time, I think, as you said, there's a good feeling coming into this. But I think the home and away record is the thing where I'm kind of looking at it like,
Because the quote always is in this game, form goes out the window. But neither of us want form to go out of the window because we're both on good form.
Let me just read you a stat as well. Tottenham have won just one of their last 30 Premier League away games at Arsenal.
That means you drew
drawing 11, losing 18, and are winless in 12 since a 3-2 win in November 2010.
Oh my!
2010 was the last time we won at the Emirates. So for me, this and the Tottenham Stadium was the similar case for you guys up until last season. I always feel like those kind of jinxes are there to be broken, which is why I'm kind of hoping you lot are a little bit over complacent, if you like, and coming into this game thinking, oh, what? These lot, let's cave their chest in. And then it's like, give you a little something, catch you cold. You know what I'm saying? But what is your kind of feeling coming into this? Are you concerned about us, or are you just literally thinking, no, we're going to be the perfect team to burst that little bubble while they've got it going?
I think my concern is also for ourselves. We're coming off the back of the 4-0 against PSV, and we were saucing. I don't know if you guys saw the game or not, but we were doing flicks and tricks, and like Gabby Jesus missed a shot he probably should have scored, and everyone turned around and started laughing. Like he was just laughing, he was just loving it. He was so chill. But we haven't actually been playing that well. We've been grinding out 1-0s. So we've been winning, but not playing that well. So that was a really big confidence boost for us. I think you guys, it's Udogie and the central midfield, I think, is probably the most competitive parts of our teams. Udogie's, like, every time I talk to you, I tell you he's so good. I think he's so brilliant. Obviously, he's going to be up against Saka, who's also brilliant. So that's going to be, I think, a key battle. And we don't know how we're going to line up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jesus start out on the left and maybe Trossard up top, because I think Trossard is one of the best strikers of a ball in the league, and I think he needs to be central, and Jesus for the legs.
Because Martinelli's missing.
Martinelli's injured. No Martinelli, no Partey.
Big losses.
But then we've got Rice. You know, I'd like to see Reece Nelson play. Maybe Fabio Vieira steps in. We've got so many. You know, we're very, like I said before, we're very tactically flexible. So it means we're never quite sure how the manager's going to set up.
Personally, I feel like the game honestly is going to be won or lost in that midfield.
Yeah,
I feel like our midfield has been almost like 3 new signings. You could look at Basuma, complete different player from last year. Pape Sarr similarly came in last year but didn't really get much breakthrough. Maddison has come in like one of the new signings of the seasons, honestly. So I'm literally banking on our midfield to kind of really see that. And the matchups as well. You've got Maddison versus Rice, Odegaard versus Basuma. It's like, all right, this is actual prime. Even like Saka versus Udogie. Like there's so many matchups in this game where you're like, I actually can't wait. Okay, Zinchenko talking about, when my winger go, I go inside, is he going to follow me? Let's see what
are you doing, Kermit the Frog?
Hey, I was just doing the Zinchenko accent, sorry. But no, honestly, I feel like there's so many matchups in this, but I feel like that midfield is going to be so crucial. And I'm curious to see who actually lines up as that.
Because your midfield's actually more settled than ours.
Yes, and
because we don't have a dedicated 8 yet.
Havertz starts in this game for me because this is the kind of game where Arsenal fans might think, he's going to get that goal or whatever. But I'm like, this is the kind of game where you don't want to play him, where you require the dogs to be let off their leash.
If he starts, I'd rather see him start up top than.
And I want to see physically imposing from Pape Sarr and Basuma what they've been able to do to United and some of the other midfields that they played.
Stop us playing our football, and it's one of those games that's going to be played in waves. So I'm just going to go for the first 20 minutes, stop them from playing their football. You can pick up a couple of yellow cards, that's fine. Just stop them from playing, and slowly we'll start to play our game and start to get Kulusevski in behind, Son in behind, and we'll start to do that later. But at first, just focus on stop these guys from dominating the ball. But it's going to be super unpredictable, and I think we can kind of enjoy it from the perspective that it's coming so early and we're both on such good form that it shouldn't derail whatever's happening. We've still got plenty of time to get things back on track. We obviously have Man City in a couple of weeks as well, so now with no Rodri and hopefully Calvin Phillips, so it's important, but we don't have to put too much on it. We can.
I slightly disagree.
I don't know.
What? You don't think this game is that important?
It's important, but I don't think it will derail us. We haven't been playing that game. No, I don't think it's not a must-win. It's not a must-win.
Let me just go quickly. I feel like this game is a must-win for you. If anything, I would say it's not as important for us.
As long as you don't get battered.
Yes, for me, it's like
Bayern Munich basically. As long as you don't get battered. Yeah.
Don't put us in the same bracket as you, man. Please.
You better hope you lose 4-3 because you could be a 4-1.
If you've had a 2-0 down in 20 minutes, it's peak for you. It's ugly.
I fully agree, though. In North London derbies, you have seen the first 20-30 minutes is usually the game where it's decided. So for me, that is going to be so important. But I don't know. I just feel like this game means so much for you because, one, you haven't been playing that well. This is almost like, okay, you've flexed your muscles against PSV, but now you've got Spurs who are thinking they're good. Can you actually show that same kind of performance that you've shown in previous years where maybe you've not even been as good and you've still been able to win a 3-0 or win 3-1? It's like, so for me, I feel like this game, you guys almost have to come in and impose yourself as setting the bar as title challengers. For us, it's like game week 5 and into a new project and, okay, we've had some easy fixtures. This is actually like our first big test, if you like. And it's a game where, as you can see the stat here, bro, we've won 1 in 30 times here.
Yeah.
The last time we played, was 2000. The last time we won, it was 2010.
Yeah.
So the chances of us winning here or leaving here with like a great result, virtually impossible. So for me, it's like the pressure for us to win this game.
So do you think that Ange will come in and
there's
and
so
push?
much to lose. If you do lose this game,
Yeah.
what it means for you lot then is, I think it's bad. Because it's like you haven't been playing great. You now lose to a Spurs team who you guys were all saying, it's easy fixture list or whatever. And it's like, you're meant to be setting the bar
other than that
challenges.
Game. Other than that game. It's not easy fixture list. We got you guys and then City 2 weeks ago.
No. We've had an easy fixture list.
Got you.
Coming off the back of our easy fixture list, you were supposed to be like the serious team that stops us. And if you lose at home, that record, the rivalry and everything to us, this is a major L.
On top of that, you are going for the league title this season. Don't get it twisted.
100%.
Man City are 6 out of 6. You've already dropped points in 1 game. Are you going to be 5 points behind or 4 points behind after 6 games?
No.
So that's what I'm looking. Even if you were playing, I don't know, Fulham, it's a must-win game. because Man City are 6 out of 6. Not because you're playing Spurs. That's added on top of it.
Yeah.
But you can't afford to fall any further behind.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right
Like,
now.
what the point I'm making is that we will address this game just as another game, not as a North London derby.
I get
It's
that
that, you know,
part. I get
the
that part.
derby part for us is very much on the back burner because we're looking upwards and not downwards.
I get
So,
that part too.
you know, that for us is like we can just go out there and play our football and not worry too much about the derby aspect of it. But there will be an element of, like we've seen in the documentary where Arteta said, in this derby, the fans will love you. You go out there and you hit people with challenges first 20 minutes, and then they will just support you and ride and help you out through the rest of the game.
I
So
think this game could go two ways. I think Arsenal could actually blow Spurs away, or it's going to be a very, very tight game. I can't see Spurs go in there and playing their football in a way that allows them to be
I think
the
they know
dominant
that.
side.
Yeah,
they might
yeah.
play their football, but that's going to leave them open in a way a PSV will open. Of course, they're better than PSV.
Yeah.
But the way that PSV will open, because we didn't beat you lot in the second half, you completely dominated. But we should have 2 goals in that first half. Let's say at least, but we should have 2 goals in that first half.
Yeah.
If Arsenal get the chances that we got in the first half at the Emirates.
The thing I'm excited about is our bench late on in the game when we have Nketiah, Havertz, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson all to come on. Maybe even Trossard. Maybe he starts Reece Nelson out there. And there's a lot that we can do. So if we are struggling in whatever way, we are so flexible to actually for Arteta to look at the game and bring something on, and he'll do something that's very unpredictable. From Ange's perspective, he's very difficult to read, whereas a couple of years ago, it's very obvious what he was going to do. But now it's much more difficult to read and to set up, so I'm confident going into this game.
Nah, fair. What will you go in prediction-wise for this game?
It's 3-0.
That's
Yo,
painful.
let
That's
me
deep,
know
that's
your
deep, that's
predictions
deep.
in the chat as well,
deep,
please.
that's deep,
I felt like that was a backhanded slap.
That hurts. I was expecting better 3-0. I never won.
After saying it's not a big fixture, it doesn't mean that much. But yeah, we'll win it 3-0.
I'm praying we can leave there with something. I'll take a 1-1. I'll bite your hand off right now.
Of course you would.
I'll bite your hand off.
But the thing is, even when we're not playing well, we tend to, if we're playing our football, we tend to score 3s and 4s regularly. So unless you man are going to come and really put pressure on us and bag 2, you will not be able to come to the Emirates, score 1 and leave with a point. You'll need to score more than that because we're a very free-flowing team.
One thing is
I think
you often concede the Emirates.
We might concede early. Like if we don't concede in the first 10-15 minutes, then I'm calm.
good.
Then I'm calm.
Game done.
Do you know what I'm saying? but I don't think they'll set up to come and press us. They're not like a Southampton or like a relegation team where it's like, guys, we've got to get because if they do, I don't know if they do that because that
They
leaves
might,
them.
if
they go 1-0 up, we win 3-1.
Because I think it is a bit of a free hit for Spurs. And obviously, it's never North London derby is never a free hit, and they don't want to.
It's as free as it can
it's
be.
as free as it could be because they've got a new manager early in the season. They've started the season well, so there's no pressure on them, no pressure on the manager, nothing like that. And they're going to the Emirates where they never win. So
the expectation is very low.
Exactly. So they can go out and do that. And if they're 2-0 at half time, people are like, well,
I just think that obviously I know that PSV are not Spurs in terms of the ability and the technicality of the team, but the mentality that we've seen of Arsenal bottling things have fallen apart mentally, where the stage seems too big and the occasion seems too big. There was none of that. This is your first Champions League game in 7 years. This means everything to the club. This means there was none of that. These guys walked around and the way they played is like they'd won it back to back. They were just swanning around and laughing and enjoying the occasion.
Shout out Lives in the crowd. Doing tears at the Champions League anthem.
That was too funny.
Act like you've been there before, brother.
Quickly as well. Jay Jester says Arsenal 4-0 to 4-0 guaranteed.
Let's go.
Big up Just Vibes for the super chat.
David Raya hasn't conceded a goal yet.
I'm nasty. Big up Just Vibes for the super chat. He says Fuad is him. Talent ID, ball knowledge and dreads. Come on, man. My guy. Big up Bad FPL Advice for the super chat as well. Great name. Saturday football show from South Africa, home of the oldest solar calendar. Jeez. There is a poll in the chat as well now, just gone up. Arsenal win, Tottenham win, draw. What do you think it's going to be? Let us know. I want to read that out.
What are you man score predictions for that game?
I'll take a draw. I love a draw. I love a win, but I think it could be a 2-1 Arsenal, and
I'll take that.
Yeah, it's not pleasant, but I think it will be one of those kind of. I'm just hoping to walk away with more positives than negatives from that game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The last thing I want you lot is to feel like you're walking out of that game, and this is what we expected. This is what we knew Spurs were, type of thing. I want you lot to walk away from that game being like, hey, these men are cooking something all day, you know. We got away there, you know. I'm glad that even though it was a home game, we got away with that one. That's the feeling I want. I want you lot to feel like.
Here's the predictions. Here's the predictions that other Arsenal fans have gone with. AJ said Raya 2-0. Raya again and getting 2 goals, and then Lewis Donnelly, shout out you man for putting all the comments in that. Keep the comments coming in. But Lewis Donnelly said at DR Sports, you think that's bad? Turkish predicted 5-1 on Box to Box.
I saw that. Turkish, man, oh man. Listen, Arsenal fans have every right to be confident. I'm not mad at them. The history, the omens, the way your team looks at the moment as well. You could probably say it, but all I'm saying is don't sleep on us. Where are you going?
4-2.
4-2. Oh, I'd love to wait.
All I know is this is definitely going to be an eventful game. There's definitely going to be entertainment as well.
We have a super chat here from @_dash. Thank you for the super chat, my guy. It says the way Arse fans are going on after one good season. You would think that they are City. Calm down. A humbling is needed this season. We're just enjoying the ride. It's your gaffer that said just enjoy it. That's what we're doing. I'm taking Angie's advice.
Hey, listen, I never said that in it, but I agree with that person still. That's all I'm saying, innit? Big up Blizz. He says Spurs 3-2. Richarlison late winner. Just for the memes. You got Harry Kane sends in a super chat as not a super chat. Big up, appreciate you after the hat trick. You're always making time for us still. He says 2-0 Tottenham. Omar says 3-2 Spurs. I'll back my team. Damn, making me feel bad for not backing my team now. I'm just trying to be realistic, bro.
They ain't getting clipped up. That's why.
Oh. JD says Desmond 2-2. United Basic Fems says 3-1 Spurs. Ooh, SF says Spurs sneak a 1-0. I'm liking this, you know. Chat, you lot are rocking with me today, and I'm feeling this. And then Justin Thomas has to ruin it by saying 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah, we're just going to block you in the chat. No, I'm joking. Make sure you're liking the stream as we're going along as well. Entering the final minutes of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. They are all in additional time. Palace Fulham still 0-0. Luton still 1-1 in that game. Can they snatch it late on? And Man City still winning 2-0, 10 men down against Forest. Elsewhere, you have Sevilla drawing 0-0 with Osasuna in La Liga. Milan have won their game 1-0 in the end. Bayern Munich, of course, 7-0. And Dortmund have won 1-0 today as well.
What's the 5:30 kickoff? I think the team line.
The
Brentford
5:30 kickoff
Everton.
is Brentford-Liverpool. And
Liverpool.
yes, you are correct.
Brentford,
Brentford-Everton. Yes.
I mean, it is in
Sorry,
Liverpool, to be
apologies.
fair.
I know some Everton fans are probably screaming and screaming, Everton-Liverpool! Listen, Brentford team is Mark Flecken in goal, Hickey, Nathan Collins, Pinnock, and Roslov left back, Jensen, Norgard, and Janelt in midfield, and then the front three of Mbeumo, Wissa, and Sade.
Jeez.
And then Everton have gone with Jordan Pickford, Ashley Young, Tarkovsky, Branthwaite, and Mikalenko in the back four. Midfield five are James Garner, Idrissa Gueye, Onana, Decore, and Dwight McNeil. And then Beto once again starts up top. Can he get the goals to dig them out today? What are you guys predicting for that game, actually?
Is this away?
Yes,
at
Everton
Brentford,
are
yeah.
away. At Brentford, yeah. What are you guys predicting for this one?
2-0 Brentford.
Same.
2-1 Brentford.
Yeah, I can't see Everton scoring. I'm hoping Beto can actually give them a little something.
He is good, but the problem when I watched our game against them, they just didn't find him enough.
Yeah, I just hope he did get some service to him, because if Everton are going to stay up, they are going to need some goal scorers, and they've paid a fair whack for him. And
They pay 5 in the midfield with wide midfielders, and is Garner more of a centre mid or a winger?
Yeah, he's a centre midfielder.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, so
he has played a right back at times.
Only McNeil is really like a natural wide man, so I don't know where they're going to.
Because who else is there? It's Decore.
It's Decore, Onana, Gueye, and Garner all in the midfield, and that's a 5. So it's quite flat.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not
Final
sure.
whistle's just gone at the Palace Fulham game as well. That has ended 0-0. As we said, two teams with struggling for a goal scorer. Both ended up scoreless. I'm sure both those teams will be a little bit disappointed with that. Middlesbrough also turned it round earlier on. We saw Adam Armstrong helped Southampton take the lead 1-0 in that game, and then Michael Carrick turned it round. 2-1 winners. They leave at the Riverside today.
He's going to be your caretaker manager before the end of the season.
I was just about to say, when you were asking who did they want to bring in, Carrick, innit? Bring back,
just quickly
bring the
going
old
back
gang
to the
back.
North London derby. I have seen a quote this week as well from Son Heung-min as he sends a warning message to Arsenal. He says, "I know what it means for the club and the fans and the players as well. We should understand what this kind of game is. It's going to be a very difficult game, but they don't want to face us at this time." Now, obviously, as you know, we do have our resident troops, AFTV. He had something to say about this, replying to Son. If you could roll the clip, please.
And improve.
And now, you know what I mean, it sets it all up for the North London derby on Sunday.
Yeah, man, running them out already, blood. I see Son already, blood, about Arsenal don't want to play you. Are you fucking mad? Brother, when you come here, bro, you ain't won nothing here, you know, blood. You understand? You ain't lift nothing, blood. Only thing you lift is your gal. You understand? You don't lift nothing, bro. You get me? You understand? Like, they don't want to play us, bro. You get me? If they see the way we're playing, United, the Everton performance, and tonight as well, blood. Yeah, the man ain't even in Europe, bro. Hand in your passport.
Listen, if you want to go and check that out, go check it out on AFTV, man.
A lot of facts there. A lot of facts. A lot of facts. Yeah, the troops. Just put it eloquently, just poetically.
But this is what rivalries are all about. You see, Son can say that one little quote, and look how it gets them all riled up, and it's like, yeah, we got you exactly where we want you. All riled up and rattled. Don't worry, Sunday everything will be settled. North London derby this weekend. Make sure you're tuned in for that one. We will give you all the reaction here on DR Sports FCM. Me, myself, Fuad, Culture Cam and Mayo, we will be there bringing you all the latest reactions to that and the weekend action. The weekend action here is still not finished. Luton still drawing 1-1 at home to 10-men Wolves. And then Man City still 2-0 up in the final minutes. 90 plus 5. 2-0 up against Nottingham Forest. Oh, 3 games nearly done, and then still got the Brentford-Everton game to come later on, and then Burnley-Man United as well. We made some predictions before the show. I believe you boys would have written yours down. If you can turn it to the camera now so you can see, what did you guys put down for the first game? I put Palace 2-1 Fulham.
I got Palace 1-1.
I put Palace 2-1.
So it looks like none of us got that there.
Well, I got a great result.
Next one is Luton Town versus Wolves. I predicted a 2-1 Wolves win.
I said 3-1 Wolves.
I said
3-2 Wolves.
I don't know how you thought these men were going to score 5 goals. Where they were getting that from, I don't know.
Looks like we got that one wrong as well. And then the final one, Man City versus Nottingham Forest. I put 3-1.
I put 3-1 as well.
2-1. Come on, Forest, give me a goal quickly. Consolation, give me a goal.
There you go.
Well, I'm the only one with...
It's full time.
Yeah,
right?
I got the correct result on Palace Fulham. So,
it's full time in the Luton game as well. So just the last added time of Man City and Nottingham Forest before it's all wrapped up for the 3 o'clock fixtures.
Boom, and there you have it. Luton still at the foot of the Premier League following that draw. Wolves at 15th currently as well. Not moving much, to be fair. Drawing the Palace Fulham as well leaves them both 8th and 9th as well. No movement there. Man City creating a little bit of a gap at the top. That's 5 points between them and the mighty Super Tottenham Hotspurs on 13 points. 5 points behind. Who would have seen that coming this season, eh?
Well, it's like Man City. I don't think Man City have really hit their straps. And you can't really expect it 6 games in. But they're 6 out of 6.
Never do. And this is the scary thing about City. Usually they take a bit of time. They might get a draw here and there. Last year I think it was Palace, Brighton, few results they dropped. But this season they said, hey, look, we might not be at our full cylinder self, but we're leaving with something every week. And they've still only conceded 3 goals, mind you, within that as well. So
don't worry, Arsenal won the Community Shield though, so they got the moral advantage.
Hey, at least something to put your dinner on it. But that game has also now finished 2-0, and that is it for the 3 o'clock kickoffs today. So that is 2-0 in the Man City Nottingham Forest game, 1-1 Luton versus 10-men Wolves, which is a little bit of a turnaround in the second half, but you feel like maybe could have snatched the 3 points there at the end. Crystal Palace, Fulham in a disappointing 0-0 draw as well. Not much movement in the Premier League. Bayern Munich, of course, winning 7-0 today as well. Harry Kane hat-trick. Everyone loves one of those, don't they? Milan leaving with the 3 points at home today as well. 1-0 winners there.
Dortmund 1-0.
Yeah. And overall, a very good stream, in my opinion. Let us know your predictions. Keep them coming as well. Keep your messages coming. The poll has officially closed for that prediction. Do you guys want to guess how many people predicted a Tottenham win?
27%.
27%.
I'll say so.
You say same. Lower.
17.
Higher.
20.
22.
20%.
Oh, 20.
You guys have no faith in us, and I understand, because in one game, one win in 30 games, I can understand it. But hey, ties are there to be broken. Do you know what I mean? And listen, we appreciate every single one of you that has joined us throughout the stream. It's been over 2,000 of you. We are up to 700 streams. Before some of you leave there, I know you haven't liked the video. Please give us a like. It helps the algorithm, helps the channel, helps everybody. Help me, help you, help us. It's teamwork makes a dream work. Do you know what I mean? But listen, boys, it's been a fun one. 5:30 kickoffs as well later on. 8 o'clock this evening. You've got Man United versus Burnley as well. Everton versus Brentford coming up shortly. Make sure you guys check out for that. Tomorrow we do have FCM coming on this channel. Myself, Mayor Watt, Culture Cams, bringing you all the latest from the weekend reaction. Monday roundup as well. Make sure you guys check out for that. The guys will be back in full effect. Nick. Appreciate you boys joining me, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed the stream as well. We appreciate you guys joining us at home. Big up yourselves, and we will catch you guys next week. Hopefully Alex will be back, as I will be somewhere else, but hopefully I will be back the week after. Till then, guys, take care. See you soon.
It's that time again, man. Beat down time.
Is that right?
Coming to our place, the Emirates. Yeah, North London is red. We proved that last year. Not only did we beat you at the Emirates, we beat you at your place as well. And that was with your star boy, Harry Kane, who's gone now. Who are you going to turn to now? Bro, you're getting beat down.
Who are we going to turn to? Who are we going to turn to? Big Ange Postecoglou, blood. I'm telling you, it's a new day. Like Biggie, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, fam. The fossil football is dead. Yeah, get Conte out of here. Get Nuno out of there. Get Mourinho out of there, fam. I'm loving Big Ange instead.
You know, you tell Big Ange, he should get out of here. Yeah? This ain't cricket.
Yeah.
You're getting
Save this,
up.
blood. Save this,
whole
blood.
thing.
You walking Malteser. Save the. Hey, you want to. Blood.